What is up, everybody? I can't help but notice that my upload speed is terrible right now, and I'm dropping 63% of my frames. So yeah, ISP is still really rocking it over here. We'll see if it clears up. But, that's so bad that I'm not sure this is gonna work. This is worse than normal, I have to say. God damn it. Anyway, I can talk about the Christmas stuff here, even if I'm on a slideshow for a bit. So Martha's out. There's no other new character. The rate up is just Scatty and Emiya and stuff. They didn't actually add anyone new. But I don't know how to feel about Martha's toolkit. I'm gonna have to really test it. On the surface, a lot of people are like, oh, she's so good, but I don't know, like, she gives 20% battery to a targeted unit, which that's the same as like every support for budget ever, so nothing surprising there. But she can give 30% to herself, and then because she's a welfare and she gets her own coins from this event, she can get her passive really easily. So she can actually turn one NP really, really easy, and her NP gives the whole team attack up, makes 20 stars, heals them a bit. And then she has her own targeted heal, and she can do defense down to an enemy. So turn one, she can show up and give the team a massive amount of damage up, a little bit of battery, a little bit of healing, and then stars. But then that's it. Her utility is nothing crazy, like she has defense down NP seal, but like the other Martha with buff removal is way better, I think. Like it's good, I just don't know if it's good enough where I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna bring this over Hans, Mash, or Chin Gong, right? You have a lot of budget supports that are already so good. It's certainly good in her niche. Her NP gives you anti-demon, divine, and undead damage. And so if you are fighting one of those things, then I think she's really, really good. Because then she's giving you attack up, a single unit gets extra attack up, everybody gets the anti-divine, you get the stars, and then the battery. Like, that's really good. If she's in her niche, I think she's really solid. But outside of it, I don't know if she's actually better than Hans and things like that. She's kind of bursty. I don't really mind them not adding a new unit because it's like there's so many units, it's hard for them to keep up with what we already have, right? Like getting more screen time to people that already existed in the game is fine. You know, I prefer the add stuff when it makes sense, when they're inspired, when it fits the story, right? And then, you know, focus on doing animation updates and things like that for older units and giving older units screen time. So I don't think they needed to spam new units. And if, in terms of the money, in terms of them making enough money just to be profitable, that's where you like sell skins and you sell like a $5 subscription thing where you get massive boom for your buck and stuff like that. There's other ways for them to make the money. They don't have to spam characters constantly. Alright, well, I'll stream a little bit and we'll see how my frames do, but it does look like I'm having issues. I'm so tired of my ISP, man. They just can't get their shit straight. So how y'all feeling about Martha? I'm really looking forward to testing her though, because she is right in that middle ground of maybe this is really good, but I don't know if it's good enough, so I'll have to actually use it myself to find out. But it's kind of interesting. It is nice how easy it is going to be for her to turn one NP if you get her coins. Like, that's so easy to turn one NP. And they buffed Scatty, which I'll show that off, but I might need to do it tomorrow because of my upload speed being so messed up right now. But what they did for Scatty is she has a 5-turn attack up now. And I think they made her crit buff bigger by a bit. But the main thing is she gives an attack up based on her NP rank. It's, I think, 20 to... Is it 20 to 50% if she's NP5? Let me look. I forgot. But it's at least 20%, and then it lasts 5 turns, which is really abnormal. Here's the thing, it's good, but there's something like not so good about it that a lot of people I don't think are thinking about, and this is a real like weakness of Scatty. Now don't get me wrong, Scatty's really good. Even before this buff, she's really good. But okay, she's 20 to 30% attack up. So at NP1, she gives 20% attack up for 5 turns. At NP5, it's 30%. So at NP2, you get 25%. So NP2 is like the good one to be at. Anyway, okay, so here's the thing about Scatty, and this is why I don't think the buff is that good. And it can be good, especially if you have super scope, then it's really good. But if you're using Scatty, you're probably using double Scatty, right? That's just kind of how it works generally. And you need that like critical mass of quick up. And if you're doing double Scatty, that means you have no team battery. And most Scatty setups, you need to give her battery to the DPS. That's like the whole point. And so she's not gonna get her NP, right? Like anytime soon. Scatty is never NP'd very often because one, her NP wasn't that amazing, but it's mostly because there's just no like good way to get her NP. The only real good way is Super Scope, but a lot of people won't have that, and if they do, they might not want to give it to her, and they might want to give it to the DPS, and blah, 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 blah. But that's an issue. If you're doing double Scatty, you're not going to have team-wide battery to give to Scatty for her to just smoothly get her NP off of like a starting NP CE. So I think a lot of people are still not going to be able to capitalize on her NP buff. Now, that being said, if you do like do a switch Mystic Code, you put in Castoria or Waver, or you have Super Scope, or even just K-Scope, and then her passive from coins and things like that, there are ways to get her NP fairly easily, and then it's 5-turn attack up. That's really good. And because it's just going to last so long, and you still get the crit bonus, you still get the damage cut, you still get the one-hit evade, all that kind of stuff. And that's just like a long-lasting, everybody does more damage. That's really good. So it's a good buff, but it's not going to like change anything in terms of like, you know, the meta and how people farm or how they do challenge quests and stuff. It just doesn't really play into that at all. It's just a way to, you know, a bit more oomph. But yeah, because she doesn't have an easy way for just any old player to get her NP under most circumstances where you'd actually want to use Scatty, I don't think it's that big of a buff. But for those that do have like the premium stuff, it does mean they're just going to do straight up more damage. I just saw Canis. I'm guessing Martha was like going anti-delinquent mode. Yeah, Mordred's there. That's definitely anti-delinquent mode. Yep, they're running away. The one thing Canis fears, Martha. I mean, she doesn't have like a great evade or a great damage cut, but it's good enough to be helpful, and the evade can block an NP, so... So is this why we have Santa, Martha, Scatty doing things? Is she needs help against the delinquents? Is that why this happened? Oh my. I saw what they just did there. So we're not dropping as many frames now, but we're still dropping frames. So yeah, I think my ISP is still having problems. That face. So I'm guessing she's just regular Martha, but she had her Saint Graph temporarily altered for the event. It's one of those. I was clicking the box there, but it wasn't picking it up. So unfortunately though, this event is exactly what I feared it would be. It's just really easy story stages that unlock, you know, every day, so they're time gated. There's nothing even remotely fun or interesting about them. And then it's just dailies. It's just daily farming. So it's just same-o, same-o. They've done good Christmas events before, like the Areshagal one. You had an actual boss fight every day, so that was actually fun. Yeah, obviously it had the lottery farming too, but you did get the one cool boss every day, where this event, it's not that at all. There is a break bar boss, but he's got like 8,000 health per break bar. It's like, the hell. Oh yeah, and the Quetz one. The Quetz one had those duo fights, which were a little easy, but it was still pretty entertaining, and you could have fun messing around with them. I might have voices off. Oh no, I got it. Next slide. Is it that bad? This is what I get for making fun of Cairo yesterday. I'm gonna lose my shit if my internet's not fixed when Elden Ring comes out. What I'll do, if I just absolutely can't stream it, is I'll just record everything and I'll make highlights and put it on my VOD channel or something. More condensed that way anyway. Hopefully that doesn't happen though. I mean, it's the same voice actress for Ushi, so... And Melt. This is very inappropriate music, but I'll take it. Guys, this is Christmas music right here. There's so many Santas now. And the only guy Santa. Best one though, by the way. Oh yeah, the sheep. Yeah, Karna doesn't get his coins. It's fucking bullshit. And then we know Virtua rate up. Because they had that dead week. They should have done the rerun instead of the dead week. I legit think it's because they didn't have time, because they're bad at management, to like just do the basic changes to add the coins to the shop and make the lottery 10 instead of unlimited and twink the drop rates and all that. They didn't bother with that. And by the time they would have been ready for that, there wouldn't have been enough time left in December. First of all though, is this like the cooking crew? 'Cause I know Percival is into cooking as well. Yeah, this looks like definitely cooking spam. Explains the bonus servants. And I figured that yesterday. Yeah, or they could have not done a new Christmas event and just done the rerun and made it unlimited. I'd have been okay with that too, either way. Not that I want Martha getting the boot, it's just it really did suck that we don't get Karna coins and we didn't get the Virtua rate up. Maybe they'll do a main interlude someday. Probably not. Yeah, they pretty much never have Christmas land on Christmas because they care more about getting a main story out at the end of December than they do about holidays making any sense. Is there 3 of him now? Is that just because of all the Marthas? Why my power just flickered. Huh. I have a feeling today's stream chat is gonna be shorter than normal. I'm just gonna make that prediction. Between the upload speed being fucked up and all that, I don't know if we're getting a full stream in today. That horse spindo in the background though. See, this would have made a good Santa. I think people would have dug that. Okay. I'm just trying to get through the story so we can see like the basic premise. That way I can actually get some AP spent on my ult account. Yeah, that's what we needed, guys. Jin K. That's the 3-star coins that I need. I need Jin K coins, because we use Jin K so much here. Actually, we kind of do, but it's Vol's, not mine. So. I'm sure someone out there is a big Jin K fan, and they can't get her coins, but they're getting coup coins constantly. Anyone in chat right now that's trying to gun for a 120 3-star? And if so, which 3-star? I want to see. Even if you're on NA, if there's a 3-star you know you're going to focus on to try to, you know, really upgrade. Okay, we got someone with coup. Obviously I'm doing, you know, 120 coup. That's not going to surprise anyone. 120 Gilead Saber? Are you really doing that, Say? Are you really doing that? Ooh, 120 Mori. I can get behind that. 120 Ushi. Antonio. Good luck with that one. You have to roll story. At least you get more coins. The story locked ones give more coins if you do get them. But it is pretty awful. I mean, they've buffed Medusa twice. She's in pretty good shape these days, I would say. A couple of people that want to get Antonio, a few Ushis. Yeah, you can also go for a class banner, but they haven't done a class banner since adding the coin system. So this is a picture right here. Wish they had given someone an animation update, like anyone, but there's none. They could have done Ruler Martha, they could have done Boudica again, because she needs it, or Emiya. Literally any low star and I'd be happy. All they did was add Welfare Martha and then buff Scatty. That was it. Kind of light this event. Cool CE though from the event, the shop one. Yeah, the ladle though. Portable kitchen. Oh yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, the NP. I mean, for a joke servant, she's all right. You know, obviously I'm not big on joke servants, but where are they even storing all this? Chaldia's stocking up this whole time. I'm assuming this is actually set in 1.0, but Romani just won't show up because fuck you. They did that like one time where they did an event that was set in the past or something like that. But if it's Fuyuki locked and then it looks like they're in Chaldia, not the ship, but I wasn't really paying attention. They might just be on this ship, I don't know. You can tell by the backgrounds, but I wasn't looking earlier. Villains in our refrigerator. Yeah, we'll probably test Scatty out tomorrow, unless my frames get their shit together. But it looks like our upload speed is super. That is a sprite. Look at this man. These stages are complete joke battles. We'll use the 888 NP. How are you in NP3 Boudica? What is that? Oh, you have to bring. These names are from like a super old event where I think it was one of the summer events or something, where like you had like those different nodes and you had to bring a whole different roster of servants. That's crazy that I've never reused those teams for anything. That was so many years ago, dude. I know it's an ult account, but damn. I should really level this Martha. Here, we'll do that. I actually kind of want to replace their Boudica with mine. Look at this! Look at this! She's level 80, but because she doesn't have full items and her CE doesn't have stats, she's behind on attack. And then look, if I give her an actual CE, now look how far behind she is. And we have that 15% passive. Like, what a joke! Get that out of here. None of these CEs are gonna matter. This event is like the biggest cakewalk. Who do I need bond with on this account? I guess Atalante and maybe Hans or something. Whatever. She's got the extra health because she's level 80. Where I'm using a no health CE. Gotta get that Boudica NP. Are these Roman critters? Boudica is so bad here. Damn it. Unfortunately, Santa Martha has one of the smallest animation sets you can have. Like, she only has 6 animations and she has 5 cards. It's not great. It's because they didn't give her like an alternate, like, gap closer version of her art in Quick. She just has 2 animations that she rotates between no matter what. Where most characters will get like 3. So yeah, she doesn't have a very big animation set. They don't animate her much. They animate her more than some servants I've seen, but she's pretty phoned in, I would say, from an effort standpoint. But she doesn't really need a lot of effort put into her. Like, the kind of, you know, memes they're going for, it works. It's kind of, that happens sometimes where they put very little effort into something, but it still turns out, like, decently enough. And I'd say she's in that boat. The only issue is just how few animations she has. That is kind of suck. But, yeah, her animation quality overall is actually really low, but it just doesn't matter very much. It's not a big deal. But really, they haven't put effort into a welfare in terms of their animations in so long. I'm trying to think of the last time they actually put effort into a welfare. Might have been like BB. Because like these days, they just always do paper mache stuff for welfares. They don't actually redraw them very much, and they normally don't have very many animations for their cards. I mean, it's not quality over quantity. Like, it's not. Like, there's no quality in her animations. Like, they're very lazy. It's no quality and no quantity, and that's how they do every welfare. Even Karna. Karna also, like, you know, looks fine enough, but there's almost no effort put into Karna's animations. Like, again, it's just paper mache stuff. Like, when they make a new 5-star, they animate them. You know, they redraw their ligaments when they're moving around and their torsos move, and they redraw them. But when they make welfares, they don't do that. It's just paper mache. They're just, you know, puppets on strings, essentially. It doesn't look nearly as good. And Karna is exactly the same. Like, they barely reanimate him. And the few times they reanimate any of his ligaments, they just reuse that animation over and over and over again. Like, Karna's pretty fucking lazy. It's just that, you know, what they did still looks good enough that it's not too bad. But, you know, he is super lazy. Like, if you know anything about how animation works, like, it's really obvious to see that they phone it in with the welfares. It's not just the welfares, too. They phone it in with a lot of animation updates. They generally don't phone it in if they make a new unit, even a 3-star. If they make a brand new 3-star, they don't generally phone it in. They'll normally put pretty decent effort into it. And same for, like, new 4-stars and 5-stars. But if they do animation updates for old units, or they, you know, do welfares because they don't make any money off them whatsoever, they really don't do a lot of assets. They don't make a lot of assets for them. And what they'd often do, and this works because people are stupid, what they'll normally do is they'll do paper mache instead of animating them, but they'll like put particle effects everywhere to basically distract people, and then people don't notice, and it actually works a lot. I think the worst offender of that was like the Fate Requiem event, but they pretty much do it every welfare ever. Yeah, some animation updates are good, a lot of them aren't, but every once in a while they do make a good one, like Caligula. Lancelot's is pretty good. It really sucks though that welfares are always scuffed like that. Like, it's just really noticeable. It's like once you kind of notice it, you can't unnotice it, and it's just every time welfare comes out, you just know that they're going to be, you know, very unanimated. And it's like if they ever, let's say they made Bazette. Let's say they made Bazette a welfare. You know, she's going to be a lot like Karna, where she's not very animated, and that's like a real waste. But it kind of sucks because it's just kind of like, it'd be one thing if it was just every once in a while, you know, a welfare had kind of lazy animations, but it's every welfare every time. So it's like, it's so obvious where their priorities are. Arash's was pretty lazy too, but archers, you almost can't put effort into them. because they're archers, right? Like you can be pretty artistically, you can have artistic integrity with an archer and still not actually make a lot of like animation for them because they're archers, right? They shoot the bow. They do not require a lot of animating. Like Gilgamesh is not actually animated very much. It's mostly paper mache stuff. There's some animation where he like changes his shoulders and stuff, but it's fine because I mean, how are you going to make Gilgamesh really animated, right? That wouldn't make any sense if he's over there, being melee all the time or something like that. See, they used to put effort into welfares, but I think the reason they don't now is because they just get away with it. So if they get away with it, why bother, right? Why put in more? Because time is money, right? If you have to hire more artists, or if the artists have to create more assets for you, that's more money, right? And if the player base is happy enough with the lazy schlock that saves you money, you're just going to keep making the lazy schlock. Right? They have no incentive to actually like, oh yeah, because like, why do you think welfares only get one ascension stage? That ain't some like, event thing. That's not like, it's because they don't want to make them. It's because it's less work. That's all it is, right? It's not, there's no artistry behind it. And because people are so used to them doing it that way now, even though it really is lame, they're never gonna not do it that way, right? They're never gonna add welfares and like, oh yeah, we'll just give them 4 stages like everyone else. Like they're just not gonna do that. Like Ryder Kentucky actually had pretty good effort put into him for the time, right? Obviously their sprite quality is much better now than it was back then. But back then he was pretty much on par with any other unit in terms of animation quality. Man, that was a long time ago. Let's see, what I guess Chloe was pretty on par with what you would see back then. That's because it was easier for them to make animations back then, at least for the most part. I can't think of any welfares that are even remotely recent that they actually put effort into. Well, a lot of players make excuses for DW because I said this before, most people that are still playing FGO are on quite a bit of copium, and a lot of people that like, they don't maybe care about Fate specifically, they just want a good game. They don't play the game anymore, so most people that still play it are pretty copium. I like FGO, there's nothing to like about FGO, but it's hard to, like, I'm not so dumb that I'm not gonna be an ostrich, right, and keep my head in the sand. It's really obvious when a lot of the animation updates, are really phoned in, and the welfare is really phoned in, but new units aren't phoned in, right? It's obvious, right? And because I know how animation works, I know a bit about this stuff that it's obvious to me, like with Boudica, right? How unbelievably stiff she is and how she's doing all these, like that backflip she does on her extra attack. They blatantly need to reanimate her torso from a different perspective while she's doing that, but they don't. Same for her legs, and they just use the sprite that's already there, and they paper mache it, and it looks incredibly bad, right? I can't not see that kind of stuff. And then when you see them add a new 5-star or 4-star, and they do a backflip, and it's actually animated, and it looks fine, and then you see the welfare or the animation update, it looks like dog shit. It's like, yeah, it's kind of lame. How do I get SQ quickly? I mean, mostly not spending it and then doing free quests, really. But like, that's how I always get a lot of SQs. I only roll when I really want to roll, like when it really matters. Best you can do though to get SQ is like do all your free quests, until you get the SQ from it, because that's a lot of SQ. Do your weeklies and your dailies. People don't always do that kind of stuff, but it adds up. Like really, doing your weeklies adds up in the long run. Make sure you always log in. Do all your strengthening quests and interludes. I mean, they give out a decent amount of SQ, every month. They really do. Like, they really do give out a decent amount of SQ every month. But it's not like you can't snap your fingers without spending money, obviously, and just get a bunch of SQ like in a week, right? Unless you haven't done any free quests. If you haven't done any of your free quests and you do like all of them in a week, you're actually gonna have a mountain of SQ right there, but that takes a lot of time. So FGO if it wasn't Fate, that would hurt. I always say that would hurt it a lot. I do legitimately like the boss fights though, when they have good boss fights. Like the gameplay we're doing right now sucks. It fucking sucks, right? It's awful. Their free quests suck. You know, their repeatable content all sucks. But their challenge quests, I think, are legitimately good. They're, especially if you're not like throwing all the meta supports at it. You know, it can take some real effort to figure out. It's like a fun puzzle, and there's different ways to approach it. I really enjoy that. And the main story fights, you know, like Zeus and Fluffy, all that, they're really good. Like, I'm not, definitely not copy. I mean, they are legitimately fun boss fights. I really like them. But there is just so much filler, and because you can't replay the story, and you can't play past challenge quests and whatnot, if it wasn't Fate, I don't think I would play this game anymore. It's just, there's too much, you know, downtime, and the UI is so sloppy, and you know, the way the devs just treat the game, I'm really not a fan of in a lot of ways. But I hope that changes. I'm always rooting for FGO because I do like the boss fights and I do like the Fate franchise, that I want them to make the game as good as possible, because I actually think you can make this game significantly better and a pretty reasonable budget. You just don't. But this event sucks. Like this event is kind of like exactly what I don't like about FGO. It's like, it's crazy boring. There's very little effort put into it. Glorified dailies, and it's just an excuse to waste like a month of your time. And it's like, oh, actually like 2 weeks in this case, but never a fan of this kind of stuff. Hopefully the 6.5 will be good though. That I expect will be. And see, here's a boss fight, Chad. I'm shaking in my boots here. 8,000 health on a break bar. However will we deal with this? Danger, yeah. It does have the danger tag. Gonna kick our ass, chat. Let's see how much damage it does. Oh, look at it getting an evade gimmick and an attack up gimmick. Okay, it actually almost murdered Martha. Although, to be fair, Martha is level 1, right? And he didn't even kill a level 1, so... You know what? We'll do this. There we go. Bonus health. OP. Nice evade, champ. Was that an RNG evade? Like, look, you could be a day 1 player and you would beat that content by just clicking random buttons. Even if you brought like you could bring Ben K and Phantom of the Opera, like the worst team possible, and you could just click random buttons on the screen, and there's no way you would ever lose to that. Right? It's like, what is the point of this? And now we're time locked. How did you beat that boss? I know, right? Guys, you gotta level up your you gotta get those level 120 servants to beat that boss. See, you gotta get those coins. Like, imagine, like, this is an ult account, right? This is not my main, this is an ult account. And I still have some pretty damn powerful servants here, right? Like, that's some strong stuff. And I got like all the fundamental budget units, you know, I got Hans, Asclepius, Chen Gong, Mozart, you know, like George, you know, the taunt wall, like all that stuff. So imagine having all of that, and then every time an event comes out, I'd say a good like 90% of the time, the event is like this easy. You know, it's like, why? And then every once in a while you get an event where you have to actually think and use your brain, and you can actually have fun, and you know, gameplay decisions actually matter. But it's like, why does it have to be that rare? Like, why can't we just have stuff to do in the default game, for God's sakes? Like, wouldn't that be nice? I'll probably actually level Martha on my main and my ult. I want to really test her. We'll do like Lobo at some point and see how she does compared to like Hans. Like, we'll cut Hans from our standard team and see how she does. I honestly, if she's not in her niche, I don't think she's going to do better than Hans on most teams. Like, I think she's better in Hans in Burst, like when she just first hits the field. And if you can then kill her with Chen Gong or use Poster Girl or whatever and cycle her, then I think she can be really, really good. But if she's going to be on the field and stay there, I don't think she's that good. I don't think she's terrible. I absolutely don't think she's terrible. Hi, Cairo. By the way, Cairo, my upload speed is fucked. So that's a thing, just like you the other day. A little bit better now, but at the start of the stream, it was just so bad. I was dropping 70% of the frames, but now I'm dropping 30 to 40, which is still bad. Yeah, today's stream is probably going to be short. My power flickered earlier and my upload is messed up. So it's a pretty bad stream, but we'll still mess about. Alrighty, let's see here. Yeah, see, I sabotaged Cairo's stream and he's sabotaging me back. Achilles is pretty good. I don't think Europa, from a pure practicality standpoint, right? Talking purely practical, I would say Achilles is pretty good if you need a writer. Europa, not really. It's not like she's bad, she's fine, but I don't think any account really needs Europa. No offense to Europa, but she's just, you know, if you like Europa, you're like, oh man, Europa's awesome, right? And you want to use her, you can make her work, you know, for a lot of stuff you need a writer for, so that's good. But there's no account that's like, oh no, if only I had Europa, I would be able to beat this. That's never a thing ever, right? Like, that's not a thing. Like, between Ushi and everything else, you're totally fine. She doesn't offer anything that unique. Where Achilles is really useful because he's super good for farming and he's really, really strong in almost any content you would need a writer for. But even Achilles, if you've already got like Medusa leveled up, you already got Ushi leveled up and stuff, you don't need him, right? You can get by without him. But he is better than Europa, like absolutely. So between the two of them, if I was going to roll on one for gameplay purposes, it would be Achilles. But depending on my account, I might not roll on either of them, really. Like if I had good writers and I was in good shape, I wouldn't worry about it, right? Because you might already have some other gold riders, right? And then you really don't need it. But if you like Achilles, Achilles really is an awesome unit, and he can be used in single target situations because of his survivability and his critical damage. And he's good in AoE because he is AoE and he can loop decently easily. He's got utility with the taunt that can help the team out and that kind of stuff. So he's really, really good, like really, really strong. But it's not like if you miss out on Achilles, you're like, oh, my account is so screwed, right? Like that's not a thing. Yeah, if you have Ivan, you don't need either of them. Like, Ivan's really good. He's not as good for farming, but he's still good, and you're not going to have any problems. Is it worth going for more Achilles if I already have an NP2? If you really like him, like, if you're just like, oh, yeah, he's pretty cool, I'd be more than happy at NP2, right? Like, 5 stars at NP2 are super, super good, and they don't ever really need any more than that. Like, I can't think of any 5-star that actually needs to be higher than NP2. Like, even if you're doing really, really hard challenge quest content, like NP2 is always good enough. Now, again, if you're like a huge Achilles fan and you think he's like the bee's knees, then, you know, then it's fine to go for it because he scales just fine with more NP ranks. But if it was me and, you know, I was actually kind of trying to be careful with my SQ and stuff, and there's a lot of units that I wanted, and I had NP2 Achilles, I'd just be happy enough with that. Because he's really good at NP2. But yeah, if he's your absolute favorite character and you want to get him to 120 down the road and get those coins, then yeah, then you want to roll. But if he's not your like absolute favorite, I wouldn't bother. Yeah, I can't think of any 5-star that at NP2 is like, oh, these suck, right? That's not a thing. Like, a lot of 5-stars are good enough at NP1, but then NP2 is such a huge upgrade. Like, NP1 to NP2 is the biggest upgrade in the game for any DPS unit. Like, it's the biggest gain they ever see, and they're strong enough at NP1, and then NP2, you're in really good shape, so. I'm kind of just autopiloting right now. I'm not even bothering with, like, doing a 3-turn setup, although I could do that pretty easily if I wanted to. Like, hell, this setup right here can 3-turn most things. Let's get, Atalante on the team here. Actually, I wonder if Nash gives Bond bonus. Why is she on the team? Oh, that's the support. I was like, what? I want to get Bond 10 at Atalante on this account. That's probably going to take a while, though. When in doubt, bring FP. Does this account not have the FP thing? What? It's got the new one, but I guess it doesn't have the old one. I've got a Bond one in this account, but I don't care. Oh, do you need a CE drop in this event? God damn it. I'm gonna have to actually play then. Yeah, I know, the good free quests are not going to be available very long. Kind of lame, to be honest. But what are you gonna do? This event, it does not have much effort put into it. Like, it really doesn't. You know, Martha's animations are pretty lazy. There's no new unit. There's no animation updates. The event is very bare bones. It's one of the lamest Christmas events ever, which sucks because this is your chance to get skill gems. And on like a lot of newer accounts, this is their first chance to get gold skill gems, really, in a reasonable way. And the fact that it's this, you know, short and blech, it's not great. Speaking of Achilles. Yeah, they have had a lot of scheduling issues with FGO this last like 2 years. Been very noticeable. Whose NP do we want to see? Let's go with Achilles because we were just talking about him. Let's see how much damage he'll do. All the buttons. I'm about to make the app crash. With all that. Yo, Chad, how bad is the stream right now with the upload hiccup? It's been good for like a few weeks where it wasn't having any issues, but yeah, it's fucked up today. It stutters, that's it. We'll see. I'll keep streaming for now then, we'll mess around. I'm just mad, dude. ISP keeps acting like they fixed it and they keep not fixing it. I should really be summoning someone that has the lottery. CE. Apparently no one has the lottery CE. It's probably because nobody wants to farm yet because the first day or two are so like unbearably inefficient. I'm kind of the same way. I'm on my Steno account and my main account, like I played before the stream. I'm just using their natural AP. I'm not using apples yet. I might use apples tomorrow or the day after. Probably the day after. I think the stages at that point will be good enough. They're not going to be good, but they'll be like reasonable. And I'll probably use some apples on that. At least on my main. I don't know about the Steno account. Some people are farming day one, dude. That's ridiculous. And then they wonder why they don't have any apples. I should like actually be using my NPs and clearing these waves in one turn, because I can do that. Hold on one second, I gotta grab something. Okay, I'm back. Had to walk across the room there. Chat, you know what's worthy of Aya? Giant snowmen and cookie monsters. Like, we need this. Couldn't defeat them otherwise. Only Gilgamesh could do this. Another thing I don't like about this event is the bronze mat in the lottery is pretty niche overall. So not that practical. Why am I buffing right now? Like, it's 24k, like I'm gonna need to do anything. The thing is, if we don't do this lottery, we're not gonna get skill gems again for a really long time. This is like the last opportunity for skill gems for quite a while. Probably until Nero Fest, or the equivalent of it. Who knows, maybe they'll do a Christmas rerun, like in July, or in February, or something random like that. The weird thing is, I have a feeling this event's gonna end, and then we're gonna have a dead week before the 6.5. So that makes you wonder why this event is so short. We gotta get Beastly that FP, man. I wish I could show off Martha. I want to use her in like a real setting, but I'd have to be pretty inefficient to. Well, you know what? We could probably do it because this is my ult and it has so many apples. I mean, who cares? I'm sure Achilles can handle 19k here. And really, he only has to do 15k. Using a rider on an assassin node. Yeah, I want to go fight Lobo with Martha, so let's try to get some of her stuff. I don't know though, don't you have to do like 10 lotteries to get her max ascended? I think her ascension mat is in there. That's so inefficient on day 1. 5. That's not too bad, but still, day 1 lottery farming is pretty crappy. But I would really like to see how she does in an actual boss fight compared to Hans. Let me look at her skill mats. They're not too bad. The only hard part, I guess, is the ice crystals. You need 60 of them. But other than that, it's pretty easy. Yeah, she has a lot of damage buffs, but that's almost all she's got. She's very short term. She like shows up, does great, and then I think she's gonna fall off really hard. I think cycling her is probably the most efficient way to use her. Okay, so the spoons are the lottery thing. This would take a lot of farming to do this day 1. Well, let's see how many we can get. Oh god, this is the best stage you can do? Oh no. I thought you could at least do the level 51, but no, the 51's time gated. Imagine time gating a level 50 free quest. Oh man. I don't know, chat. I mean, I have a couple of apples, but still, I really don't. I don't know. We'll do it a little bit. We'll see if we can maybe ascend her a tad and just. We'll see how it goes. We'll do a few runs and see if it's reasonable to do this today or not. I should really switch Achilles out, but because I could bring someone that won't need buffs to clear wave 1, or I could just Arash it. Yeah, no animation updates, unfortunately. No new unit either. The no new unit, though, I'm kind of okay with. Like, all this, I could just skip that if I wasn't using Achilles. Helena's not a support though. Helena's a damage. I don't know why everyone misses this. Like, Helena is a damage dealer that on the side gives the team battery. That's like 100% the way she plays. And she's actually quite good at it, because she does do a lot of damage for a caster anyway. They buffed Jonah Arc Alter a while ago. They buffed her NP. It's really good for challenge quests and whatnot. Like, she's really strong. The thing is, there's no point in comparing a support to a damage dealer. Doesn't make any sense. It's like, guys, Asclepius is a better healer than Spartacus. Like, no shit. Although, funnily enough, actually, Spartacus is a better healer for himself than Asclepius is. Just not for everybody else. Oh, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. You get like 30. Ugh, and it's not, if it dropped a mat that I needed or wanted, that it wouldn't be so bad, but I don't need stems like at all. That's actually been the problem with Helena since the beginning though. Everybody's always thought she's like a support instead of she's a DPS that has support on the side. And when you look at her that way, she's actually got really good value. Because she's got a lot of damage up for herself. And she gets her NP rather easily. And then as a bonus, she gives her teammates stuff too. Kind of like Tesla, right? Tesla's a damage dealer, but on the side, he gives his teammates the NP gain up. He just gives them even more than that. Like, I actually think Helena's really good. I think she was good before that buff she got in the Idol event. Obviously, though, that buff helped her a lot. My issue with her is how dumb she looks. That's my problem. Like, her cooldowns being long is bad for challenge quests sometimes. Like, absolutely. Because she's kind of one and done. But for farming, it's not a problem. And for some challenge quests, you're just going to use her to, like, kill that one assassin in, like, a multi-boss fight or whatever. Or you might cycle her after she does her job. But if you're going to use her as, like, your main DPS, that it is a problem. Like, absolutely. Even if you're doing like Shimosa and you're fighting like the assassin boss, the nasty one, her longer cooldowns could definitely be a problem. Shiba's like the bare, she's the minimum of what you need, right? And she's still, in a way, Shiba is good because if you've got her, she will help you kill assassins, and that's what you need her to do, right? Like, if you have an account that does not have Shiba, and you're like a newer account and you're in Shimosa, right? It's going to be harder than if you have Shiba. Although, I don't know if that's true anymore because of Babbage's buff. Honestly, Babbage's buff does kind of make Shiba a bit of a joke, now that I think about it. That's not great, and everybody has Babbage, so... And like with Castriku, at least you have to get all the way to Lost Belt 6 to get his buff. But that's not the case with Babbage. So that is a little awkward. Well, solo for both Shiba and Miyu is impractical. So here's the thing. People will say like solos aren't practical, they don't mean anything. That's not really true if it's a unit like Ku and Kidu, Skath, Ku-Alter, you know, Orion. Units that can actually accomplish very significant, meaningful, helpful things through soloing, right? Or last man standing, right? Obviously, a lot of units can be you can do a team play, and you have a unit in the back to clean up, right? And so Hercules, Ku, units like that, it's legitimately useful how good they are in a solo. It's irrelevant, like, who's better in a solo between Miyu and Shiba, I would say, like, 95% of the time, because neither of them are even remotely good. Well, actually, I guess Miyu's a little good in a solo, but she doesn't keep up with, like, Enkidu or any of the big boys like that. Anyway, so what I'm getting at is, like, you know, both of them are very much aimed for team play. Even if in team play, they're not going to do last man standing stuff, right? Like, no way. And Shiba does have some nice burst with her own damage and then giving someone else the damage up as well and making the stars. Like, it's useful. Like, she's not trash, but she certainly isn't remarkable. She's very meh, and she could definitely use a buff. But yeah, Miyu and Shiba are pretty hard to compare because Miyu ultimately is just a support, where Shiba is a DPS and then kind of a hybrid, but for DPS support, she's not giving the team healing or invulnerability, right? She's just giving the teammate a lot more damage. Shiba's very fixable though. She's got a good basic kit, so if she gets a buff or two, she'll be fine. And then you have Cersei over there, never getting to pig anything. Castergill's super good. Castergill's super, super good. He's good for challenge quests, he's good for farming. Like, he's good for pretty much... He's whack because he's one of the rare units, especially for 4 stars, where he can be a completely dedicated support, 100% support, but he can also be a really good damage dealer. Like, he's not as good of a damage dealer as he is a support, but he's pretty solid. So he gets to do quite a bit for the team in one place. He's good for farming, he's good for challenge quests, good for team play. Not the best for solo, I guess, but again, he's not the kind of unit you'd want for that anyway. He makes anybody make a lot of stars. Like, you do his Stargen thing on Darius, for God's sakes, and Darius is gonna make 50 stars easy. Which is pretty nice because generally Darius, you know, wipes a wave and then he's out of gas, but if you have Darius wipe a wave and then he makes all those stars, then your next wave is ready to go again. No, Ushi's not even remotely the best solo unit, no way. It's because of her class. She's good, like she's really good, but she's not like the most universal solo unit. And it's because almost any time you have something that's like applicable that needs to be soloed, someone's going to actually counterclass it, and then she won't, and then it's not great. And she can keep up, she can absolutely keep up, but that does make problems. But she is really good, like she's absolutely really good. Q Alter, yeah, is one of the most universal solo units because he's just so applicable to almost any situation. Same for Herc. I mean, if you got people with like crazy niches, like Enkidu's really up there. I'm not exaggerating when I say Enkidu's up there. Like, obviously, Enkidu is like the best solo unit, if for almost every archer in the game, right? And so that's already a big deal. But then also most berserkers, because he has so much survivability, and then he's got the anti-berserker passive. Now, he's not always going to be the best solo unit for berserkers, but he's among them. So he's pretty much the best for killing archers, among the best for killing berserkers. But then he also is one of the absolute best for foreigners. Actually, probably is the best for foreigners because of his NP buff that is just nutty. And then also really good against Divinity, regardless of their class, other than maybe Saber. Now, just if they have Divinity, he's not like an auto, you know, easy mode, but it is a big deal. That makes him one of the best units out there for Last Man Standing or soloing, or team play, really, for archers, berserkers, foreigners, and a few things that aren't foreigners that have threat to humanity, and then really, really good against anything with Divinity. That is a huge roster of things that he just absolutely destroys, right? Like, it is so easy to find content, even really, really hard content, that Enkidu is going to make a you know, huge difference. He's crazy. I don't know if I'd say he's as, you know, versatile as maybe Q-Alter just because Berserker lol, but he's definitely up there. Yeah, and Enkidu is one of the best DPS for Fluffy, which is one of the hardest bosses in the game, so at least for main story. Yeah, honestly, for carrying an account, I actually think Enkidu is the best, probably. It's either that or MHXX. They're both really, really good. Because the thing about MHXX is, like, you can just have MASH, and then MHXX can actually tank hits from Fluffy. Right, like, on her own, without any help, she's not going to, but if she has, like, just a defense buff and stuff, she'll be fine. Or a lot of other units wouldn't be. And then she also does really, really big damage. But, like, Enkidu is not necessarily the best DPS if you're trying to, like, min-turn something against Fluffy. But min-turning doesn't mean anything. That's just showing off. It has nothing to do with actually getting past the content, especially if you're, like, you know, stuck and you're having trouble getting past it. So for, like, actually helping someone out and actually getting through the content just at all, Enkidu is, like, the best unit for Fluffy. It's him or, like, Merlin. Merlin's kind of nutty there. King Hassan's not that great, to be honest. Like, he's fine. Like I've used King Hassan a lot. I use all the big solo units a lot, and, how do I put this? Like, King Hassan is above average, right? Like, if you're doing, like, a hard stage to solo, and you're using everyone at class neutral, you know, he's going to be above when you kind of just throw the whatever units at it that are upgraded really high. Like they're 10-10-10, high MP rank and all that, but they're not really a solo unit. King Hassan is always going to be ahead of those, right? And by a good bit. But he's always behind, like Kama and, you know, like and Enkidu and stuff, like the big boys. He's always behind them. He's still good, like he is above average, like I said, but he's not one of the best. And I think a lot of people don't keep track of who the best are and what they can actually do. And they see people that have like, you know, level 110, 120, or even level 100, but MP5, you know, completely maxed out King Hassan's. And, you know, they can do some impressive stuff with that because he's really, when you're upgraded that high, you can always do good stuff. And he is a solid solo unit. And so then people think, oh, he's the best solo unit, but like he's just so behind Kama and you know, stuff of that tier, right? Like if you're gonna make like a how good are you at soloing tier list, you know, he'd be like A, right? But he's not gonna be A plus or S or, you know, S plus. You know, he's not gonna be like up there, but he'd be very good, right? He's way above average, absolutely. And anyone that's above average, if you decide to, you know, let's make an MP5 level 100 or 120, or, you know, you do all that crazy stuff, they're gonna do damn well, like, absolutely. And I will say, every once in a while, King Hassan is really favored, just because he's got kind of a wonky way of doing things with, you know, how much health he comes back with guts, and some fights really incentivize guts, and like, because maybe they have piercing vulnerability or something. So every once in a while, you know, he's got a really good showing. But the thing is, Kama also has guts, and Kama's just ridiculous. Kama is the best solo assassin. Like, there's just no competition, really. But when you go, like, pound for pound, like, raw value, what you can get out of King Hassan in a solo, it's very high, but it's absolutely behind the big boys of most of the other classes, and even his own class, like with Kama, so. Well, that's not a big deal. I mean, you don't have to be the best to be good, to be usable or fun. You know, like I said, he's more than good. If you have King Hassan, he's gonna make a lot of things easier for you, right? Like, just straight up. And like, really, from a practical standpoint, the difference between King Hassan and Kama, I don't think is that big. Like, for example, there are things that Kama can solo that King Hassan cannot. That is a thing. There are things Kama can solo that King Hassan cannot. But from a practical standpoint, those fights that you can't do with King Hassan, that you could do with Kama, you could still do them with King Hassan and like the last man standing, and you do like even a very budget, simplistic team, just set him up for the solo or the finisher or whatever, and you'd be able to beat it no problem. So you're not gonna get like stuck on content because you have King Hassan instead of Kama, right? It's maybe not as impressive, right? It's like a video or something if you can't just straight solo it. But it doesn't practically matter. You could still get it done with him. Honestly, there are times that Phantom of the Opera outperforms Jekyll and Hyde. That has happened multiple times when I've tested them. Phantom is probably better than Benkei for soloing a lot of the time. Depends on circumstance. Let's see, Phantom's probably better than Gilius, Caster Gilius. Not Saber Gilius, but Caster Gilius. Phantom's pretty low on the totem pole, though. Phantom wasn't even good in Lost Belt 3. He was good on an account that can only use 3-star craft essences and units, and can't summon a support above that. That's the only reason why he was useful, right? Anyone else would have just summoned Amakusa or Gajuna or, you know, whatever, and that's going to be way more useful. It was only useful because that account was so restricted. And I don't think he was even, I can't remember, but I don't think he was even the MVP on the team for that fight. I think it was still like 100 Face or Medea or Ku or something like that. Like Phantom did all right. He pulled his weight, but I don't think he carried by any means. Okay, Nobukatsu is probably the worst solo unit in the entire game. That is probably either him or Qingong. But Qingong is a 2-star, where Nobukatsu is a 1-star, so that favors Qingong, and then Qingong has crit down and the damage cut defense up, which is actually kind of nice. So it's probably Qingong there. They're both really bad, though. Arash is actually fine. Arash isn't. He's so much better than them. Not even close. Because Arash has a giant heal, a giant defense buff, and then he can just have guts. Like he can, and it's like he does really good damage, so it's worth it. Like, yeah, you could give guts to Nobukatsu, but you're not doing anything. Like, your NP just killed you, and it did no damage. So why did you even use it, right? It doesn't. Even if you have guts, why did you use it, right? With Arash, yes, you kill yourself, and then guts goes off, but you just did a fuckload of damage. It's actually you know worth a damn. Where Qin Gong, you can't give him guts because his NP doesn't kill himself. He can't even use his NP in a solo. So Arash is way ahead of them. Arash is actually, like, if he's upgraded properly and, you know, 10-10-10 and all that, he's not like an amazing solo unit, but he's okay. Like, he can actually keep up with, like, the other low-star archers, like Robin and stuff. Like, he's not getting blown out of the water. Because you can give him a Gut CE, and hell, you could give him, or if you don't want to do that, you bring Anniversary Blonde, and he's fine with Anniversary Blonde, stuff like that. The Qin Gong can't even use his NP, and so yeah, the guts doesn't help him in the slightest. Yeah, I think Nobukatsu is the worst solo unit ever, and if this stage is even remotely difficult, he's not going to be able to do it. I know someone that's making a 120 Nobukatsu, and I mean, good on them, but I don't know where that's gonna go. I don't even know what the point is, but I'll be interested to see. I used Gwen's NP on accident instead of Achilles. Wasn't paying attention. Well, see if Achilles can do 24k here. Nobukatsu is actually kind of useful even if you don't have a Nobu. He's okay budget buster support if you've got like the right CEs and stuff to work with him. The issue is Qin Gong is just so good. So you'd have to like need Qin Gong and Nobukatsu, but then there's also Shakespeare, so it's kind of hard to fit in. If Nobukatsu did what he did for quick, he'd actually be kind of useful for budget because there's no quick budget support really. He wouldn't be on par with Qin Gong and all that for the other card colors, but it'd be something. Alright, let's see how many boxes that got us. I have a feeling it's very few. I just want to use Martha against Lobo, and that's a good time to test her. Look at that face. Oh yeah, you get apples from this. That's actually nice. Alright, we haven't even done one box, and we'd have to do 5 if we wanted to use her properly. Actually, we'd have to do 4, I think. We wouldn't have to actually final Ascender, and because she's a support, that wouldn't be a big deal. So we could get some decent testing if we just did 4 boxes. Oh right, no, you need to see, how many of these do you get per box? Like you get 3. So that's why you need 4, I think. Per one. Why are they like this? And then you need the Ascension mat too, which I think is this, the ladle. So we would still need 4, at least. It would be 4 or 5. I might as well go ahead and buy this. That'll speed this up a little bit. This is a pretty interesting CE. I really want to try it with the heal boost command code. I want to know if it actually will be enough to be meaningful on some of the characters out there. It might be. It's not good on Enkidu, I can say that. That's too much over healing. I think it could be good on Kama. Stuff like that. Yeah, you gotta do it yourself because you can't put her on support list while she's temporary. So I can't summon someone else's to test. Otherwise, I would do that. Okay, we get slightly more lottery stuff now. Yeah, it's pretty rare that taking a support to 100 is useful. I'm actually not sure it's ever useful. Maybe for low stars, because they could use the extra health sometimes. But even for low stars, it's normally more efficient to take them to 80 or 90. Because, you know, 90 to 100 is pretty inefficient rail-wise. Yeah, no, Cairo's got Mozart grailed and Han super grailed. Oh, then isn't he doing Baldy first because he's a heathen? Leo's not really a support, he's a tank. Tanks really deserve their own classification in my opinion, like... Although I guess he does do the Buster Up attack up now. It used to just be the Buster Up, but now it's the attack up too. And the stars. I don't know, Leonidas is weird. Overall, I still think he counts as a tank. He's just a tank that actually gives you stuff while you're at it, which is really good, honestly. Because that's the problem with George. He's a great, great tank, but he doesn't give you any attack up, no stars, no NP gain, nothing. He doesn't do anything to help the team in terms of like speeding them up or giving them damage. Oh, hi, CE drop. Well, that was easy. How about that, chat? Are you jealous, chat? This account's already done with that shit. Feels good. Well, you know, that actually helps because we'll clear the lottery faster. So that's actually pretty good. That makes me more willing to do this. This is scripted. Yes, chat. This what it is I'm not actually, dude. Actually, I'm about to say some streamers have done this. I'm not actually playing the game right now. This is like it's pre-recorded, and I'm just talking over it and acting like I'm streaming. But yeah, some people have actually done that. Oh fuck! I gotta. I guess I don't really need Proto Coupon. It's more for showing off. I'm gonna have to make an actual team in a minute if I get another CE. Knew it. The question is, if it's a pre-roll video, why is my stream lagging so much today? Yeah, the lagging emote, pretty accurate today. Why did I just use it Gwen again? I don't know why I keep doing that. What's the point of a pre-recorded stream? Well, it's for when it's normally used, it's by somebody that's terrible at video games. And like they'll have someone else like do Call of Duty matches or a fighting game or whatever. Make it look like they're good at the game, right? And then they talk over it like they're playing. That hasn't been a thing for a long time, but that was a thing for some people way back in the day. I'm sure someone still does it. There's always someone being a piece of shit like that. There's so many streamers, right? I mean, my god, there's so many streamers. Like, we are... Dime a dozen doesn't even cover it, right? So I'm sure somebody's still doing crap like that. Oh yes, people stream Splice speed runs. Yep, I remember that. I saw that stuff. Yeah, they stream and act like they're actually playing, but they're not. But yeah, it's normally a skill thing. It's normally to make it look like they're better than they are and that kind of thing. it's true that like you don't need to be good at games, you need to be entertaining, but the thing is, you can also be a successful stream by just being really good at games, but you have to be really good at games, right? If you're not that entertaining, you have to be like, you know, top 5% of whatever game you're playing, right? And like a competitive game, if you're that good, you don't even have to talk and people will watch you. The thing is, most people, no matter how hard they try, will never be top 5% of like an actually, you know, difficult game, right? There's just no way, right? Like and so if you're not entertaining and you're not good enough to be like the top 5%, you know, you cheat, right? That's what happens. It's actually, I'd say it's harder to be a streamer or a YouTube creator, either way. It's harder to do it through skill than through personality. It's harder because you have got to be so exceptional, right? You got to just be like incredible at the game, otherwise you don't have a chance. Where you know, it's hard to be entertaining for a lot of people too. It's not like that's easy, and there's also a lot of luck involved when it comes to just being entertaining, and you have to just kind of get lucky with algorithms and that kind of shit. But yeah, I think that's easier than the skill route. Doing it the skill route is you gotta be pretty special, and also normally young, right? Like normally the absolute, like, you know, top % of like a fighting game or a new first-person shooter or whatever it is, most of the people that are going to be insanely good at it are going to be quite young. And so if you're not young anymore and a new game comes out, the odds of you making it into like the top, even 10% of like the top of the skill bracket is pretty low. Yeah, that's another thing. If you're skill-based, you have to be skill-based in like everything you play if you're going to play more than one game. And if the game you play dies, it's hard to transfer. There are some streamers out there though that are just, you know, they're, you know, like geniuses essentially, and they're able to play a lot of different video games and be, you know, at the absolute, you know, highest performance level and like all of them. That's really rare though. It's really rare. From a business standpoint, it really is better to be the entertaining side because it's easier to transfer your audience from game to game, right? Where if you're just, you know, a one-trick pony, you're kind of screwed. There's a few other things you can do too. There's also knowledge-based stuff. There's a real difference between knowledge and skill, right? Like you can be very, like FGO is actually a very knowledge-based game, right? There's a little bit of skill, but it's mostly knowledge, right? Like knowing how to make the team in the first place and that kind of stuff. And you've got like RPG games, stuff like that. And so like sometimes just sharing a lot of knowledge can be a way to, you know, make online content or streams or YouTube videos or whatever. But again, if you need to transfer games, then you have to get in. Like, for example, I'm unbelievably knowledgeable about FGO. It's actually kind of stupid, like how much I know about this game. Spent way too much time playing it, but this doesn't translate. If I go and play, you know, Elden Ring or whatever, all my knowledge here does not translate to that game in the slightest, right? So it's not useful. It's only useful for FGO. So it's kind of the same issue with the skill thing. I have the knowledge to pick up double cast Doria. Does that mean I'm good at FGO? I mean, you'll beat most things that way. Yeah, I have a weird, like, look at my own analytics. I have a following that will follow me to any game, but obviously it's not like the bulk of my viewers, and that's fine. That's completely reasonable. Like, of course, most people are going to be interested in, you know, what they've discovered the channel through, right? Like FGO and whatnot. So I have like half my audience would probably follow me to like another gacha game or a game similar to it, right? Like other things, like I play Arc Knights or a new gacha game, you know, Genshin Impact. You know, I have about half my audience that will kind of be interested in that field, and then like maybe half of that maybe will follow me anywhere, which actually might sound really bad, but that's actually really good. Like actually a lot of people won't have that kind of retention, so I'm actually pretty lucky. Like that if I want to go play some other random bullshit, I still have that many viewers. Because this is the sad truth about streaming. You can't really be a streamer through just streaming. It just doesn't work, right? If you just start up streaming, you could be an amazing streamer. You could be super skilled, super entertaining, and you'll probably never get more than 3 viewers, and no one will ever click on your stream to realize that you're that good. It's actually easier to be discovered through skill. That's actually one benefit of skill, is if you're like winning tournaments or you're like, just you will get discovered that way eventually. If you're playing like a really popular game like Super Smash Brothers or whatever, and you fucking win tournaments or just show up and do well in tournaments, and you also happen to stream, people will find you, right? And then you will get out of like 5 viewer hell. But if you're just entertaining, that's it. And you're really entertaining, like if you really got it, you know, down, you can easily never get out of like three viewer hell, and you'll never go anywhere. So you have to have viewers to get viewers, which is stupid, but it just is what it is. And that is why why do you think viewer bots are so prevalent, right? It's because they work, right? Because if a stream has 80 viewers even, and they play, you know, Monster Hunter, people that clicked on the Monster Hunter tag will actually click that stream. Where if they have 3 viewers, they won't. And so even if it's crazy, but that just is what it is, right? So the best way to stream is, you know, get built up somewhere else, and then get those people to follow you to the stream, and then that way you're not in 5 viewer hell. It's crazy, but just that's why did I save Achilles for the final wave? I feel like that is the absolute worst way to do this stage. Yeah, most people have a really small percentage of their viewer base switch games with them. That's tough. I'm just really fortunate that I don't need a huge following. Like if FGO ever explodes, I don't need a big following to be able to stay afloat. Because I worked my ass off when I was in my younger years, and I don't have a lot of expenses anymore. So I gotta just do whatever the fuck I want. What I'm saying, guys, is just like YouTube, there's no dislike button here, so I don't have to make you happy. What do you do about it, chat? Dude, I cannot get over that YouTube got rid of the dislike button. There's just so much wrong with that. And what a lot of people have said, and they're probably right, is that they did it because, like, you have these big corporations that would put up some ridiculous, awful ad, and they just get roasted for it, and it makes them look bad to, like, you know, other companies and investors and shit, and so they don't want the dislikes to be shown anymore. So when they just do outrageously stupid stuff, it's not so, you know, snowball effect. I got the Caesar's thumb down, that's true, I did give you all that. I made a mistake, chat. I didn't think this one through. Like YouTube rewind, all that good stuff. Yeah, get rid of the dislike button, like what a joke. Let's see, I actually might wanna, I wasn't paying attention. I might have already gotten all this stuff. Yeah, I should have already reset it, whoops. Okay, you get 4, I thought you got 3 per, but you get 4 per. Well, we already got the ladle. Okay, let's see where we can ascend her to. Yeah, what's kind of silly is companies could already turn the ratings off, but then they'd get blasted for that. And see, now they can't get blasted because YouTube did it. Because it used to be if big companies had their ratings not shown, you know, people would give them a lot of hate for that. But you know, they're even protected from that. Oh, Ubisoft. That's a company right there. Hey RTN, thank you for the 16 months, damn. That's well over a year. Alright, let's see what we can do with Martha. Inventory's full, that's the way of it.
Yeah.
So I need to ascend her one more time, I think, then we have all of her skills. Because the way we're going to test her, I don't think we need her stats to be super high. We do kind of need her NP rank to be high, but we might just do like NP 2 or 3 and go with that. Dude, do you think some companies are looking at like the shortage of graphics cards and chips and stuff, and like smacking their lips like how can we artificially, you know, create the same thing so we make more money? Like it's so ridiculous, dude. That's like the whole diamond industry. I'm not even kidding. Like the diamonds are unbelievably common on planet Earth. And it's just that there's a monopoly. The diamonds are literally worthless. Like, they're such a worthless thing, and somehow diamond companies have not only made a false, you know, shortage in supply, but they've got convinced people that you need to buy diamonds to confess your love for someone, right? If you don't actually buy them a real diamond, you're not a real fan, right? Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, they're not even pretty. Like, most diamonds look ugly as shit. And they're crazy common. Like, they're not rare. They don't look good. And, you know, fake diamonds look better, generally. Like, fake diamonds look better, and people act like they're not, like, worthy, though, because they're not rare. But diamonds aren't rare, so who cares? It is shocking to me how successful that industry has been, though, with how big of a scam it is. Alright, we're actually almost done, and then we can go have fun. Because Lord knows farming ain't fun. I probably don't need all those buttons that I'm clicking, but look, if it's glowy and green, it's good, right? That's the way. Oh yeah, what were those candy things? What were those? Like, they were like giant jewel, like, sucker things. I remember those when I was a kid. They were like terrible commercials. I don't remember the ring pops or something. Yeah, that's it, ring pops. That's fucking funny. I mean, no joke, that would go over better with me than a diamond. Not that it would necessarily go over well, but diamonds are stupid. I don't know, what's the green ring pop look like? I don't know, I gotta Google this, hold on. Green ring pop, let's see here. Oh, that's a good shade of green, alright, no, that's pretty legit. That's way cooler than a diamond. And you can eat that, so it's like, you know, practical to an extent. That's a good shade. And if it's sour, then that's super good, because sour is awesome. Sour is way better than sweet, by the way. Not even close. Is that company even in business anymore? I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I don't follow the candy industry. I couldn't even tell you who created that stuff. See, I don't, generally, if I'm like wanting to snack on something, I'm not wanting to snack on a bunch of sweet or sour stuff, really. You know, I don't really like eating a lot of sweet stuff. I never really enjoy that. So I would always go with sour, between the two. Normally my food of choice, though, for like snacking, or even having a meal, either way, it doesn't even matter, is spicy. Spicy is the, that's the good shit. But tart and sour, you know, that stuff, that's pretty good. Peanuts are good. Peanuts, I can get behind that. Dude, we've killed curse arms so many times. Why am I buffing right now? Just gotta kill him even harder. My favorite food ever. It has to be made properly, which is very rare, honestly, but is kimchi. Kimchi is absolutely my favorite food. I'm biased as fuck because my dad was Korean and I grew up eating that stuff, but it's so good. Like, oh my god, it's so good. I love Korean food. It's the best. Like, kimchi is just... Not only does it taste amazing, but it goes with so many things, right? You got the classic rice and stuff, but fuck, you can put that on pizza, man. You can eat it with almost anything. I don't know about anything. I don't know about kimchi and, like, ice cream. That sounds pretty awful, but, you can make kimchi and pizza is totally fine. Like, it's you don't cook it with the pizza, you put it on after, but, So if you don't know what kimchi is, it's a little hard to explain because it's the way it's made is pretty strange. But you have like napa or Chinese cabbage, whatever you want to call it, and you salt it and you drain out the water, and then in the water you put in like red pepper, garlic. Garlic is optional. Red pepper is the main thing, but there's a lot of different ingredients you can put in there. And in the kimchi, or the napa or Chinese cabbage at the time, it'll suck up the water again, right? It'll like reabsorb it, and it'll absorb all those, red pepper that you put in it and things like that with it, and then let it sit for a while and whatnot. And that's pretty much kimchi. I'm ridiculously dumbing that down, but that is the gist of it. And that might sound incredibly strange, but it is damn good. It's actually really hard to make though, because you have to really balance the ingredients. It is so easy to fuck up. Like, it is so easy to fuck up. And it's horrible in restaurants normally because it's not really conducive to the restaurant industry, because you like have to, how do I describe this? You can't just like make it and serve it, right? It doesn't work that way. And it normally has to sit for a long time. So like supply and demand, like meeting the supply and demand is really tricky. And if you do just kind of make it and throw it out, it doesn't taste nearly as good. So it's really difficult to, serve it like at a restaurant or something like that. You can, but it is hard. I've actually never tried to make kimchi myself. I've thought about trying it. The only reason I haven't is because I'm aware of how hard it is to make because of my father. I remember once my father didn't make it for a while, and he tried to make it again, and he was so bad at it for like several attempts until he got it right again. But I've thought about learning to make it myself. That way, I can make it proper, and I do like it a lot, so it'd be easier that way. It'd make my Korean ancestors proud, I'm sure. I wouldn't really need a guinea pig. Like I would know if it was made right or not. If I fuck it up, I'll figure it out. How's Martha? We're getting ready to test her in a minute. I think she's solid, but I don't think she's that good. I really don't. Like she has a lot of burst. She has great burst value, but if you don't need specifically burst value, I don't think she's that good. And I think Hans and for like long-term stuff is better. We'll see. She's a good option. She's another way to get battery for like newbie accounts and people that don't have the meta supports. And she's obviously not even half as good as they are. But we'll see. I mean, the stars, if she didn't have the star bomb, I would say she's actually pretty bad. But the fact that she has that much damage up and she has the star bomb, that might be pretty useful. So I'll mess around with it. It might take a while to figure it out though, because you can't just replace her or like switch her out where Hans is supposed to be, because they play differently. So it's going to take a while to see. She doesn't have 30% battery for teammates. People keep saying that, but she doesn't. She has 20%. She has 30% for herself, and then 20% for other people. If she had targetable 30%, I'd say she's way better. But, nope. And yeah, she can use the 2 batteries on herself and have 50, but that's only for herself. And if you don't need her NP, then that's not very good. And a lot of other units can turn 1 NP. Like, even Hans can turn 1 NP if you need to, and he gives you defensive stuff as well. Yeah, the Star Absorb is fun, but I don't think it's actually that practical. That's the thing, there's a lot of units that can be fun and whatnot, but it doesn't mean they're actually outvaluing Chen Gong or Hans or even Mash, that kind of stuff. The thing is, you can use her with Hans sometimes potentially, and that could be really good. That's what I was saying. I think she's good if you can cycle her, right? If she's got like starting NP because of her coins and that kind of stuff, and you can get her NP nice and smooth. And then, because here's the thing, you do not, I gotta stress this. I know this for a fact because I know this game. You do not want to use Martha's targeted battery on herself. Ever. You don't ever want to do that. Because if you get her passives from her coins, which there are free in this event, you can pretty easily get her NP turn 1 and save it, right? Because she'll have her 20% from her passive, she'll have 30% from her self battery, so that's 50, and she can have a 50% starting NP. You don't have to have K-scope to be able to do that. And so now she can turn 1 NP, and then she can give someone else the targeted battery. That's the ideal situation for her, like absolutely. However, you might not always really need, you know, her NP on turn 1, right? It might not even do a lot. On turn 1, you might not need the heal. You're actually almost assuredly not going to need the heal. It's not that much damage and stars and stuff. Like, it's good. Like, it's certainly good. But I don't know if it's good enough to, like, make... Because the slot is valuable. That's the thing. You can't just bring, you know, every support ever, right? You've only got so much room on your team. So I don't know how often she would actually make the cut on a budget team. And I don't think she'd ever make the cut on a meta team. I'll say that. There's no world where she's keeping up with Castoria, Scatty, Waver, Merlin. Like, no way. But she can do well enough. If you want to use her for fun, you certainly can. But, well, I don't know. Maybe on some meta teams she'd be okay just because she might have just enough battery to meet whatever requirement you have. And then you want the stars. Like, maybe you're using a unit that really wants to crit or something. So maybe, actually. That could potentially be good. I don't really look at the wiki for her, but I don't think they worded it weirdly. I'm pretty sure it's just 30% for self. Yeah, it just says charge his own gauge. I don't think there's anything weird about that. Yeah, the wiki's got just charge his own gauge, 30%. It's pretty clear. Although maybe they worded it, I don't know. Sometimes they put stuff up on the wiki and it's dog shit and they fix it in an hour. That has definitely happened before. I do think if she's in her niche, if they're divine or any of that, and there's a lot of things that are divine. There are a lot of things that are divine, and then as a bonus, they can also happen to be, what is it, undead and demon. Then she's good. And for real, there are more enemies that are divine, undead, and demon. Like, those three things combined, there are more things that are one of those than there are of any individual class. So it's kind of like saying, oh, this saber is good if you fight a lancer. Right? This is even more common than that, right? You have to actually keep track of it. It's easy to know if the enemy's a Lancer. You might not actually know the enemy's Divine or Demon in advance. You might miss it. That's kind of a problem. But she really is good against those, because if she's in P5, the bonus damage is 50%. She'll give you a 3-turn 20% attack up. And then from her skills, she gives 1 unit with 30% attack up. And then she'll put defense down on 1 unit for 20%. That is a lot of damage in one place. And then you also get some stars while you're at it, so they're, you know, pretty likely to be able to crit. So that's good. Like, that's really good. I didn't say demon was a common trait. That's not what I said. I said demon, divine, and undead together is really common. Like, undead is... What are you all even talking about? Like, Jesus Christ. Undead is rare as fuck. Like, you almost never fight anything that's undead. But that doesn't matter. It's just a bonus. Demon and undead are just icing on the cake. But, you know, divine is the one you really care about, because those are fucking everywhere. Because, like, if, like, Scathan and Kidu, they're great because they have anti-divine, and divine is everywhere. And then Martha has anti-divine, and then 2 other things, so it's even more. Like, yeah, they're not common. Of course they're not common. At no point did I ever say in that sentence that demon and undead are fucking common. But all 3 of them together is pretty fucking common. Now, what would be really fucked up is if it's stacked, and if the enemy was divine, undead, and demon all at once, that you got 150. But it does not do that, and actually that wouldn't matter that much because of break bars. You would probably whiff most of your damage. Alright, let's... No, we only have 120. I gotta keep going. We're close, though. Demonic's not that common either. Like, demon and demonic. First off, a lot of things have both. Like, things that are demon generally have demonic. Not always vice versa, but that's generally... It's kind of like how humans always have humanoid. But humanoid doesn't always have human. But neither of them are particularly common. Human is one of the worst niches you can have. Sanson, cough, cough. I wouldn't say it's really common with mobs, but there's a lot of like mini bosses that have it, but you don't fight those mini bosses that often ultimately. But the fucking unicorn has it for some reason, and like the giant boar, most of them have it. But you don't actually fight that stuff that often. But when you do, it's certainly nice. It's like Rice Man. Rice Man's got it, and it does come up from time to time. But it's really not that common. Like, I mean, hell, you fight humanoid a hell of a lot more than you fight demonic or demon. It's not that common on mobs. Most mobs, I'd say easily there are way more mobs without it than with it. It's not even close. Because most mobs are like, I mean, humanoid. Like, a lot of mobs are humanoid, or they don't have anything like really special like that. Because I mean, God, you have like the alligators and all the, you know, undead dudes from Salem, and these fucks we're fighting right now and all that. Like, most of that's, you know, cookie monsters and golems, all that nonsense. Like, none of that stuff is demonic. Like, sure, it certainly comes up. Like, you'll definitely fight demonic more than you'll fight, like, I don't know, mech or something. But, you know, neither of them are coming up that often. The only common trait on mobs is humanoid, really, because there's just so many. First off, all the servants, which are, like, in almost every farming stage ever, all of them are humanoid, with a few exceptions. And then you've got lots of trash mobs, like Camelot Knights, and those guys are just fighting, and the centaurs, I think, even, and Amazons, all that kind of stuff. That's all humanoid. Like, humanoid is one of the only traits that I think comes up, like, really, really frequently. Where it's like, it's super practical. Mech is probably one of the worst, I would think. And human, obviously. Human fucking sucks. It's really bad about, like, Sanson's anti-human. Like, there are a decent amount of trash mobs with human, right? Like, I mean, these guys right here, like, these guys are human, right? And Camelot Knights are human. They're not just humanoid, they're human, so Sanson gets his bonus damage. The problem is, normally they don't have enough health for you to care that, oh man, Sanson does a bunch of bonus damage now, right? Like, it just, like, wow, that matters. And then also, if they're not Rider, you know, you're not even gonna bring them. And if you're farming, you're probably not bringing Sanson anyway. And then for boss fights, it's like never a thing, so. Yeah, there is some anti-mech out there. That's a thing now. I mean, it's just math auto. It's not like personal preference. You can literally go to the wiki and look at the traits. There are way more trash mobs that do not have demonic than do. And like, yeah, it comes up sometimes and it can be handy sometimes, but it's not like you're not getting it like every other stage, like not even close. Like, you'll have many events where you won't even fight a single demonic thing. The good thing about demonic, though, is sometimes when what is demonic frequently will have enough health that you might actually care that you have bonus damage against it. Where with like Sanson, you don't give a shit that you have bonus damage against human, because like, oh man, this female pirate in Epic of Remnant 2 with 15k health, I do 60% bonus damage to. Boy, that really made a difference. I don't think it's even 30%. Like, if you look at, I mean, like, there's so many trash mobs in this game. Okay, this might be the last time I need to do this stage. Generic pirate mobs are like the only time Sanson gets his real benefit, though, because they're riders. and they are human. They're not evil, unfortunately, because most trash mobs don't get those kind of traits, but there's like that Drake Alter fight where Drake is Rider and evil, but she's not human, she's humanoid, because this game. So he gets half of his, stuff against her, and then the trash mobs with her are human and Rider. So he's kind of good in that fight, but that fight's not hard enough that you would actually need Sanson, so... And I don't think there's debuffs. No, there might be debuffs in that fight, but... And there's been several bosses in the main story that are human, but they pretty much never have like a class that lines up with Sanson. Like it's Sitting Master and stuff, but he is a Saber, so it's not worth it. One of the most useful times for Sanson, and it's not better than 100 Face, but it's kind of a thing, is when Lobo is a Rider. You get his evil bonus and his Rider bonus. That's okay. Like that's not too bad. Like Drake, although we never really had a fight with Drake that was that hard. But you really never get the Holy Trinity where you get a Rider that's evil and human, and there's not like some kind of gimmick involved that ruins everything. Like that doesn't really happen for Sanson. What Sanson would want is a boss that's single target, because AoE is bad for him, because he doesn't have self-survival, like with a vulnerability or evade. So you want a single target boss that's evil, human, and a Rider, and then there's some kind of debuff in it. That's like a problem. But you want it to be a burst debuff, not like it debuffs you every turn, but more like when you break a health bar, a really bad debuff happens, because then Sanson can remove it with his second skill. That is like the most likely time that Sanson would be good, right? And also the boss, you need single target, not just the boss, because you need to be fighting one enemy. Because if you're fighting 3 enemies, then AoE's better and Sanson's single target. That stage doesn't exist, by the way. Like what I just described, which would be the best case scenario for Sanson in the game, that has never actually happened. Maybe one day, though. Yeah, no skill seal. Yeah, that's another thing. Get skill seal. Getting pretty specific here for what Sanson needs to be kind of good. And what sucks is he still probably would not be better than 100 Face, just because 100 Face's raw value is so high. Well, it depends. If you had another unit that needed to be enabled and they needed to have their debuffs cleared, because like their Kama or King of Son, something really strong like that, then Sanson could be a better backup than 100 Face. Because like if the other units got the damage part like taken care of, you don't need 100 Faces like backup. Although I guess 100 Face still gives you the crit down, and that's still actually really good. I don't know, man. 100 Face is just really good, and Sanson's really bad. So we're trying to find a scenario where Sanson was actually meta for backup, and she's not. Doesn't seem the most likely. I should have already reset. Okay, I think I still need one more. Yeah, okay. When I get this ladle, we're good to go. And we're not going to be NP5, but Lobo I don't think is going to meet any of our requirements here, so... What does Phantom need to be good? Actually, that's easier. It's not that hard for Phantom to be good anymore. Well, kind of good. Passable, right? For a budget alternative. You basically just need them to be a Rider and then have an annoying buff that you want to remove. And then maybe be charmable on top of that. That'd be a nice bonus too. But like, that's pretty much it. That may not be the most common thing ever, but I mean, that happens, right? There's that, because there are fights where it's like, yeah, you need to have buff removal here. And then, like, you don't want to bring Medea because, like, the enemy's a Rider and they'll just murder her immediately. So, yeah, you just flat Phantom on the team and he's just there to remove buffs because you don't have one of the rarer units that removes buffs. The only issue is, I feel like Alex is normally better. If Alex is at neutral, like it's Rider versus Rider, I think Alex is better than Phantom, even if Phantom is counterclassing. Because ultimately you're not going to pick Phantom's cards very much to do damage, so you don't really care that he's counterclassing. And I'd rather have Alex's like team support, especially if I'm using a quick unit. If I'm not using a quick unit, then maybe Phantom, especially because of the stars and stuff. Like, you know, maybe that kind of works out. You can both charm, which can be good. The thing is, you'll probably have level. It's reasonable that a budget player will level Alex because he's the only kind of pseudo quick support for budget, and then he does have buff removal and he does have the guaranteed charm on either gender and stuff like that. So there's reasons to level Alex beyond the buff removal. So you're probably it's pretty possible that you're going to just have an Alex, you know, chilling on your account, where you're less likely to level Phantom because you only need him for the buff removal, and that's it. Where Alex, you get the buff removal and other stuff too. So most people are like, yeah, Alex or Phantom would work here. Phantom might be a little bit better, but I don't have Phantom leveled and I have Alex leveled, so I'll just bring Alex, and it'll probably work anyway. Yeah, if you have Martha, and you're in pretty good shape there. Sometimes Alex is better than Martha though, because Martha doesn't charm, and yeah, some things are, a lot of things really, like major bosses anyway, like major story bosses and stuff, they make them charm immune a decent amount of the time. But there's a decent amount where they're not charm immune, and then so Alex can like buy you a turn. You know, stunning the boss, that's really good. Like that's really fucking good, and sometimes it's better than Martha's like debuff clear, because there might not be any debuffs, and Martha's higher stats and all that. If you have Alex and Martha on an account though, I would level Martha before I leveled Alex. Her mats are easier, and overall she's better just because of the debuff clear and stuff. Like at that, Alex is pretty worth leveling if you don't have any alternatives. But if you have alternatives, Alex is like a premium thing. You just level it when you've got like excess stuff. Alright, technically I could get lucky and get this ladle at like any time. So I should technically roll after every stage so I don't waste apples. I cannot believe how slow it is to clear boxes on this node. This node is big yikes. And this is why I'm not doing it on any of my other accounts. I think probably just whales and people that have a lot of apples like me are probably actually farming today. I think most people are like, yeah, this is not worth it yet. And even some whales probably aren't doing it. But some, I mean, some whales are. There's a lot of whales out there that want to unlock everything as soon as humanly possible and show off on Twitter or whatever. Or these guys, they just want, you know, like, hey, I just want to play the game, and so even though this stage is inefficient, you know, because I've got unlimited AP, I might as well play. So fair enough on that one. Oh, did you already farm to get Cast to Martha leveled up? Pretty much exactly what I'm doing right now. Even with it only being 9 days though, I feel like most people would still wait a day or two, because everybody knows, you know, a couple days in it's going to be way better. So even with 9 days, you know, you can just do it like at the week, you know, when it's 1 week left, then start farming. Someone already has 100 boxes? Yeah, that's about right. That's what I expect out of this player base. I mean, dude, I remember Castor Artoria came out, and like within 48 hours, someone had her at Bond 15. And I don't think people realize just how much harder Bond 15 is compared to Bond 10. And like, they probably use like a third-party like auto farming tool. Like a lot of the whales do that. Like a lot of the whales do that. They just don't admit it, but it's very common. But even with an auto farming tool, like you have to pick a node that you can 3-turn, and you have to be running the app non-stop pretty much, and just going, and you have to reset your AP just over, and I mean you would have to reset your AP so much, like it would be a noticeable amount of money at that point. That guy quit recently. What the like, then why even bother, man? Like, goddamn. Yeah, no kidding, you're gonna get burned out when you play that way. That's why I don't have those priorities, man. People are nuts. Yeah, I remember, I think Toho made a video about how in the early days he was like obsessed with like Bond farming to show off and like clout, and then he realized how fucking stupid it was and stopped. Thankfully, I got into FGO when I was old enough that I never cared about that kind of stuff. Like carrot on the stick garbage. I just play the game in the way that I find fun, and that's all I worry about, really. Any stage now, though, chat. We just need that ladle to proc, and then we're ready to go. Although I gotta level her skills, and I don't actually know what my ult account has in terms of skill gems. I have no idea, so we might not actually have a lot of skill gems for her. I'll have a lot of skill gems by the end of the event. Well, actually, probably not on my ult. I plan on farming on my main and this Thinno account. Like those are, my ult is probably just gonna do like, you know, 11 or 12 boxes or something. I don't think I'm gonna do much on it at all. But my main and ult I'll do a decent amount. Yeah, I remember Toho. I saw that. I didn't watch the stream because I'm not out of my mind, but I saw the stream title and like the YouTube VOD or whatever when he was leveling the 2.0 Mystic Code. And then I don't think he ever uses it either. It's not like we have story replay. It's not like we can play past challenge quests, so when there's something going on, I normally just play other games. That's, if I have nothing to do in FGO and I can't like use chats units to do something fun, or you know, I can't play an ult account. Yeah, I play ult accounts or I just play something else entirely. Why do I keep using Achilles on the final wave, man? He rolled 10 scatties and she spawned 0. Well, we've got scatty coins for the future. Chat, will it surprise you to know that I've never played Minecraft? I've never installed it, I've never played a second of it, and I've honestly never really even watched videos of it. I don't even, like, I know, you know, it's impossible not to know something about Minecraft, but, yeah, I never played it. If it had like some badass mod where the combat system became like super in-depth and awesome and like intricate and difficult, then I would probably play it. One thing I saw, I don't remember who it was, I'm sure multiple people have done this, but I remember I heard about like somebody, they played, like, they made like a server that was a bit harder than normal, like they did mod it and stuff, and they made Minecraft harder than normal, and they played with a group of friends, and they would only play when they could all play together. And if you died, you perma-died, and they made a Discord for it, and if you died, you instantly got banned from the Discord. So you just got deleted from existence, essentially. And then, you know, whoever survives just keep playing, right, until it's over. Or until they all die, or whatever. That sounds kind of awesome. Especially if you make the game harder, right? Like, you change it, so, like, there's, you know, hidden stuff that people don't know about. Like, even if you play the game a lot, you won't know, like, how things are gonna play out, because, you know, it's modded so much. And then you actually care about not dying, like a lot. You care like massively about not dying, and the game is actually trying to kill you. That's the thing, though. It's not about just permadeath, right? That's why I described everything else. Like, just permadeath is boring as fuck. Right, but it's not just permadeath. You know, you mod the game so it's different. You don't know how to play cautiously, and then you're playing with your friends, right? And so you're doing stupid shit, or you're hanging out with them. And if anyone dies, though, you instantly get banned from the Discord, and you don't need to say anything, right? You're just gone. Like that's what makes it interesting. It's not the permadeath. And you die IRL too, yeah. I did it again. I'm NPing with Achilles last. It's because I think I'm just like generically clicking from right to left, and I'm not thinking about it, what I'm doing at all, and thankfully this stage is such a joke, it doesn't really matter. I'm hoping this is the last stage. Maybe I'll get the ladle here and we're done. Farming sucks! Chat, why are 211 people watching me farm? Like, What are we doing right now? There's just not enough of these spoons dropping per stage, man. Give me ladle! That is not a ladle. Wait, I could fuck. I probably could have bought another CE a while ago. I kind of forgot about that. Yep. Alright, we'll have to make a slightly better team here. I'm still not gonna rely on the support though, fuck that. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Well, I really want to bring Atalante for Bond, so that needs to happen. Oh, mailbox. Now I have to go forwards to go backwards because this UI is so good. This account doesn't really need any of this. I'll just rotate between this and feathers, I guess. Can we just pick another skill gem? Can the game do that? My main would pick Lancer gems, and this account would pick, I don't know, probably Caster right now, just for the Martha stuff we're about to do. I'm actually going to limit break the CE on this account right away, so I can summon it on my main, because I don't care about this account, it's farming. Also, you can farm easier, like, in a brain-dead way when you've got a limit-broken one, because you can bring more regular CEs. Okay, Achilles is probably not making the cut anymore. Call me crazy, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Probably do the old school nonsense here. I can probably still use Gil. I think you can get Bond 11. Yeah, and actually, oh shit, he already is Bond 11. Get Bond 12. I actually want that for coins, because I don't. He's only NP4. Only NP4. Oh god. Anyway, you know, I need some extra Bond to get enough coins on him. So, because I might take him to 120 someday. I've been thinking about that. Could just do Spartacus. Although Gwen might need Bond, but I don't think so. Look at that, Martha. Wait, where's my Spartacus? There he is. About to say, please tell me I leveled Spartacus on my ult. Let's see if this is enough. Okay, so these two... So only one of them can have an actual CE. Oh god, we're gonna have team cost problems. Might need to cut Gilgamesh from this because he, kind of expensive there. I think that's enough. Might not be for Gilgamesh, we'll see. Okay, we can use Sakura scope instead of K scope. Although actually we have enough team cost for that, so. Let's see if this does the trick. Only NP4 fake fan. Dude, this account, it was so long ago, but this account saved every SQ it got for a long time until Gilgamesh was rated up. And it was like that pre-banner in CCC that Gilgamesh was rated up in. It was like him and Gwaine. That's why this account got Gwaine like from the start. And at that point, I want to say it had like 1,000 SQ or something. And I'm sure it had some summon tickets and all that too. And I rolled all of it. And I got NP4, which honestly wasn't that bad. And I was not salty about not getting NP5. I was just happy if I got Gilgamesh to NP2. That's all I wanted. And then I got him NP4, so I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, I want to say it hit about 1,000 SQ. Maybe it might have been 950. It might have been 1,100. I don't remember exactly, but it was around there. Do I even have Gilgamesh's passive? I should. I need to check on all that kind of stuff. My Sanson is about to get his second passive, chat. How about that? So strong. Yeah, I think I need one more Sanson copy and then Sanson gets his second passive. It's actually my first bronze, I think, that's going to get 2 passives. Somehow I've gotten a lot of Sanson coins, apparently. Damn, it's not, no, it's enough, it's enough. It's a lot of clicks, though. If I should check on Gil. If Gil gets, like, his passive max, I don't think I'd have to do that. Alright, just give me the stupid ladle. So I can start farming. I'm trying to think what stages we want to use. Definitely Lobo. And hell, we might do a solo against Richard just for the shits. But there's probably some other stages we can mess around with. I'm just hoping this account has enough caster gems. I wish this stage dropped caster gems, that'd be great. What is the worst thing you've ever eaten? Boy, that's a... I've had some nasty stuff. I don't know if it's the absolute worst thing I've ever eaten, but on average, the thing I always think of when I think of food I don't like is meatloaf. Meatloaf can go fuck itself. That shit is terrible. But, you know, I've had some, like, one-off food, you know, that I was like, whoa, that sucked, but, we still don't have the ladle. Gotta keep farming. I've had people say, you know, oh, this meatloaf's good, that meatloaf's good, and, you know, I've only tried so much, but every time I've tried any meatloaf, I've never liked it. Like, not even a little bit. And to the point where most things, I was like, hey, I cook a mean X or Y, or my mom cooks an, good X or Y. For most things I would try it, I'm not sure I would try meatloaf. I really hate meatloaf. Like, I'm not big on, like, lasagna, but I've had a lasagna that I really liked. But generally I dislike lasagna, but I have had one lasagna that was like, okay, that was solid. And that's happened for several foods. There's been several foods where I'm like, I normally don't like it, but someone out there knows how to fix it in a certain way, then I'm like, okay, no, this is pretty good. But I don't know about meatloaf, man. First off, hamburger has to be made in the right way for me to even like hamburger, right? I've definitely had hamburger that I'm like, yikes, right? I'm not the biggest on beef in generally, it just doesn't taste that good to me. But the way meatloaf is prepared is very different than how a hamburger is normally prepared. And also just the type of, meat you're using and that kind of thing. Also what goes along with it. I'm not wanting to just like eat raw hamburger either. When it comes to meat, like turkey and chicken is the way, and those can be prepared in a lot of different ways and a lot of options. Seafood is generally good. But my favorite stuff is definitely Korean food. Like, I grew up on it, so there's a degree of bias there, but it legitimately, I just think it's the best. But I like a lot of food from all over the place. Like, I'm generally not that picky, to be honest. There's only a few things that I'm like, get that out of here. Like, stuffing can go to hell. Meatloaf can go to hell. Cooked carrots can go to hell. Raw carrots are good. Raw carrots, thumbs up. Any kind of cooked, steamed, cooked, any of that, big thumbs down. Hey, X-Explorer, thank you for the 4 months. That's a name I can actually say, and I'm like proud of myself. Like, I got it. It's also a very memorable name, but thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. Come on. Just give me the damn ladle and I can... Yes! There we go. We're free. At least I think we're free. Let me check on that. Hopefully we got the caster gem from this box. Because we can't really test this properly if we don't have enough caster gems. Okay, I did. Not that that will necessarily make a difference, but it could.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to actually ascend her, excuse me. Okay, so she's not gonna be max level, but she's not a DPS, so it's not that big of a deal. We can at least ballpark it. Okay, I might as well level her to 70. I wonder if I could somehow get enough coins to get her second passive, because her second passive is pretty impactful, especially if you get her skills to max. Like, that's gonna be a big thing. Alright, let's see what she's got going on here. How many caster gems do we have? Let me get up to where gold gems are, then we might have to pick if we can only level one skill. Second skill is definitely the least important. Oh god, we don't seem to have a lot of blue or green caster gems, which makes me think we definitely don't have a lot of gold ones. Ult account life. Fuck. Oh god. That's not good. That's you really can't test a unit, especially a support like this. Well, if you're being bursty, maybe we don't need the cooldowns, but let's see. Her battery is set amount. Her self battery is not a self amount. I think we level the third skill then. I think that's the one that will have the biggest impact the soonest. Now, until you hit like critical mass with her passive, her second passive, and her third skill, it might not even matter, but gotta level something, so we'll level that one. I'm gonna farm a good bit on my main though, so it'll probably have a better time with this stuff. I don't know though, I don't want to blow too many apples on this event, we'll see. Like, if the bronze mat was like hero proofs, bones, void dust, any of that, then I would do it, but... If I can get this skill to 10, and then you get her passive to 10, she's actually in pretty good shape. Although the passive takes skill gems too. I don't know why, but it does, so that ain't getting anywhere anytime soon. Does this account have demonic limit broken? Because then I wouldn't have to max it. I think it does. Oh, the horror. This version of Martha is pretty different from her ruler self, I'm not gonna lie. There's always some crossover, but it's kind of funny. Alright, 5, 5, 10. It is what it is. We'll get enough boxes to get at least one more of these to 10. Probably the first one. Alright, let me see if I can buy any of her coins, because I legitimately want to... If I can. It'll make a big difference.
よく来たな。ゆっくり楽しんでいくといい。
Oh no, you have to clear the event to even get them. Damn. There's no way then, because even if you actually if you got her to bond 15, dude, if you auto farmed non-stop, you could probably get bond 15 before she unlocked. And that actually might be enough coins to get one passive. That is so dumb though. Like that the level of like stupidity there, like that's such a waste. Well, we really can't test her at her best then though. Like at her best is definitely she can NP turn 1 like nice and smooth. And then even have a star bomb CE or something like that. So, but we'll still use her. But we're so far away from her maximum. Let's get our NP up a little bit. Doesn't matter too much though. I think it mostly affects her divinity thing, which isn't going to matter for Lobo. Although we could go fight a boss in CCC, one of those bosses, and just see the divinity damage. Probably do that at some point. Alright. Thank God for ult accounts. Alright, I had to summon something. Crap. Let me see what kind of team I'd want to make. Where I pick what I summon. I don't want to summon anything like that's gonna carry. It's just placeholder. Alright, well obviously Martha. If I can find her. I forgot what level she is right now. Probably 70. There she is. I could use Protoku as the DPS. That's kind of good, but like it's fine. She wants to work with damage, so. Now, it kind of depends on what I want to do. Like, I guess I'll test her or like where I would use Hans and just see how she fills in. But that's not how you want to use her. She's not a long-term support like that. I really do think she's burst. But I might do it that way just to see. Let's give her demonic. Let's see, so when she has her passive, so that 60-30 passive, yeah, she could turn 1 NP with demonic, and then if you max her passive, she can turn 1 with any 50%, and then save her 20% battery that she gives to someone else. That's good. That's good. Okay, what do we bring? I mean, I could bring Hans, but let's actually bring. This is kind of mean, but I really want to see what kind of damage she can give. I'm gonna bring a really slow unit like George. That way we can really see what she's offering damage-wise. I think Lobo counts as male. So we can go with the defense CE. Could always go with that, because that's 25%, but where the hell? Surely, I know this account has it. Maybe I just didn't level it much. Oh, there it is. Right next to it. Okay, so let's go very gas then. After. We'll start slow, but then when he dies, everything in the back will make gas. So like, I'll summon Alex. That's what I'll do. I'll summon Alex for my main, because that's not carrying at all. But that is gas, gas, gas. Okay, hold up. Let me get on my main account real quick. Dude, I want a Protoku animation update. I want Sanson, Billy. Somehow my playlist like got booted. What the fuck? Anyway, I was thinking about this during like the peak of FGO's time. Almost none of the units that I really want a good animation update for got one. Most of them didn't get an animation update at all, or it was like Ku who got it super early on and it's not very good. But Darius, no animation update. Jekyll and Hyde, no animation update. Sanson, no animation update. Protoku, no animation update. Billy, no animation update. Did I say Sanson? I don't know if it's Sanson, but Sanson doesn't have like almost nothing that I super care about. Got an animation. Blood Axe, no Blood Axe animation update. That emote is very fitting for this song. Why do I have Valkyrie slotted right now? I'm pretty sure that's not standard for my my Lancer slot. I don't know what the hell's going on there. She had K-scope. I wonder if I was thinking about like something for a video. That must have been why. I can actually think of something. I'd have to go into way too long of an explanation, but I actually think I might know why I did that now, and it didn't come to fruition. But let's not go into that. All right, what do I need? I need Alex. Here we go. I'm in a rare group here with Alex at 10-10-10. It's not a common sight. Let's go Starbomb. Yeah, it is kind of true. A lot of animation updates these days are bad, so maybe you don't want one. But every once in a while, you like Caligula, you know, he got lucky. So good stuff happens. A lot of it's about timing. It's like when they get the animation update has a big effect on if it's good or not. And like how busy they are, how many other units they're working on. Alright. Finally time to test Martha. Even though this is not the best test for her, but gotta work with what I got. At some point, I'll probably make a video where I fight Lobo with Martha, Ruler as the DPS, and I use like a 10-10-10 Santa Martha. And I'll probably put Ryder Martha on the team too, actually. Because she's okay in this fight, actually, with the buff removal and stuff. Yeah, that's gonna be a video. That's definitely gonna be a video. So I can make that work. And it's not even bad, right? It's not like a meta setup, but it's not bad. That's gonna be interesting. The drawback is Ruler Martha because the boss is an Avenger, so I'd have to use way stronger other supports if I wanted to make that work. So maybe I'd have to pick a different boss, but I could do maybe Abigail because that's another boss I have available. I'll look around. We'll see. Alright, what comes in after this? I don't know, Chen Gong, I guess? Leonidas? Maybe even Leonidas actually first? No. We can make George get the first NP. I can make that work. Oh yeah, my Leo's Grailed. Oh no, it's not budget anymore. Well, we had Protoku anyway. Oh yeah, he's 100. Fuck yeah, that's right. He's a big boy now. We look at the top of the list. I'm so used to having to scroll down to find Leonidas. It took me a while to find him there. No, he's at the top. Feels good, man. Hopefully Lobo doesn't like double buster crit him and just instantly run everything. Because how you really want to use a Grail Leonidas is like working with Nash or something like that, but this team doesn't have anything like that, so this isn't really the ideal time. But we'll see what we can do. Alright, last thing for burst. I guess just Chen. Do Starbomb again. Get the Calamity Jane CE in here. Or Golden Carp if I find it first. Really, whichever Starbomb I see first, I'm clicking. Oh, there we go. Hey, look, it's Martha. That'll probably make it in the video too. Just to be thematic. And I'll put Aerial... I'll totally put Aerial Drive on Ruler Martha, even if Golden Sumo would be better. I think I do Atlas just because of Protoku's skill. All this Kirby music though. I'll be right back. I'm gonna start fixing some tea real quick, because probably not to cough all the time. Alright, I'm back. I have tea. Alright, turn one. Not the best hand I've ever seen. Let's see. I'm thinking I don't taunt on George yet. Do I have Martha use her skill? See, if she had her passive, she could NP right now. Although I wouldn't want to, honestly. This hand is bad and I don't need the heal. I should save the Star Absorb. Fuck, man. I need Hans. We need the stars. Like, and then we have double Star Absorb on Protoku, but there's no way to... Well, she'll make some. Alright, I'll do it next turn. We'll make what stars we can here. And then we'll use her Star Bomb and hope that's somehow enough. No, no, bad dog. Stop that. We just got here. Protoku has one card. Okay, I take it back. And I kind of have to do it right now, though. All of the buttons now. The one quick card, let's go. Alright, someone's got to ping the shield off, though. Got this music, though. Dude, why couldn't he hit like a... Well, I guess because of the NP, I wouldn't be able to hit it more than once anyway, so... George looks so out of place right there. Oh man. Honestly, for just one quick card and neutral, that was pretty good. You know, I don't think Lobo wants our team to work. He's causing some problems. I'm not too sure about that George lining up with the NP thing now. Shit. I probably should have just taunted with him from the get-go. Let's see. I wish I had Pierce Invulnerability or anything with defense removal, but it does make the fight harder without, so... We'll deal with it. I should have put that quick card last, I think. He missed an 80% and he would have gotten his NP. This fucking game. He would have gotten his NP, and that's relevant because his buffs are about to wear off. Fucking Hansing it up over here. Oh, this is not looking good. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna start over. This didn't happen. I'll make a few adjustments here. Okay, I don't normally do this for Lobo because it makes the fight a lot easier, but we're trying to show off Martha's, like, usefulness. And the boss gimmicks are just such an issue here. Gonna counter it just a little bit. Johan's really resented us taking him off the team, apparently. He's not a fan of that. Good old Orion here. Okay. I think we're ready now. I'll just slap some, like, raw damage on his quick cards here. Give him some oomph. We'll do Gilgamesh and I guess anti-mail. That'll do. Feels good, Otto. Random popcorn delivery. drive by. All right. We'll stick with George just cuz, but really I should use Hans on the opening. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe we just do that and then we just deal with the NP. You know what? Let's fucking do it. That just, it makes more sense. I know we're kind of crossing the streams now, but what do we give Hans though? Buff success chance. Just jeweled sword maybe. Or Caneth. Dude, the one that must not be named on our Discord, you know how sometimes you'll see on people on Discord, you know, they'll put like ping for, you know, pictures of X or whatever as like such a thing. He fucking put ping for pictures or for Caneth, right? Even though obviously no one posts that ever, so it's ridiculous. Actually, Matahari could kind of work with Martha, I think. Canis Seaweed. That's pretty good. No one has pinged me yet. Kinda figured. Feels bad though. Alright, I guess Man, I really wish Martha could just NP right now, but we'll deal with it. I'm gonna do this. The slower he NPs now, the better. I could do the Star Absorb right now, but we just don't make enough stars. I should do it next turn, but I've got a Brave Chain. I should give her like Golden Carp. That would be, dude, Golden Carp on her when she's got her passive. That's really good, because then you can turn 1, have 30 stars, and then do the Star Absorb and everything. And then NP turn 1 if you need that. Like, a lot of options there. But what if we get lucky? I'll wait a turn. Maybe he'll get 2 quick cards next turn with his NP or something. Come on, 2 quick cards. Well, he got a quick card. I think we'll just go with that. Although I don't have her NP, because I don't have her passive. Still pretty good damage though. Kinda wanted to do her art card just so I could get her NP, but this is too much damage to pass on. Wow. Okay. Sure. A little bit of damage there. What's cool is if he had happened to have his armor up like he just casted right there, Protoku armor ignores. Kind of nice synergy. I actually like her with Protoku just because of the double Star Absorb. I kind of like that, but I don't know, double Hans would be pretty strong here. What is the play? They want a quick chain or do I want to sneak in a Hans card? Actually, no, we can get away with no Hans card. I gotta say, her NP in fast mode is kind of bad, like really jarring and all over the place. Definitely looks better in slow-mo. But it's a support NP, so you don't really want to put that in slow-mo. Okay, probably should have used that Hans card. Because we still have the star absorb, so we didn't need the extra stars. And if Hans could heal right now, that would be pretty good. The thing is, her dying right now isn't even that bad, because she's kind of just done what she does. And that's why I'm saying cycling her, I feel like is going to be the best thing. Like, she's really good on a gas team. Like, you get those 3 buffs, and then you bring in another buffer, and you just, you know, get as many NPs off as possible within those turns, and you crit as much as possible within those turns. That seems ideal. At 10-10-10, though, you could go around the wheel decently well. Should get our NP no matter what here. I mean, she's offering a lot of damage. I don't know how useful of a test this was, though. This Protoku is so good for this fight. She does work well with Hans, though. They both heal, and then Hans gives you the crit buff to work with the stars she's making and stuff. That's kind of handy. The boss might actually just be dead right now. I'm ready to zeet the app. I don't think it's dead because I don't have that much damage up right now. But he's gonna be really low. Whoa, yeah, he pretty low. I don't know what to say right now because Protoku's just so like meaty here that it's hard to say how much Martha's actually helping. I mean, she helped. I mean, she really did get those crits were guaranteed because of her and. Yeah, we really need Alex right now, guys. We couldn't possibly win from here without him. This is such overkill too, because look, we removed the defense buff. Look at all that. Look at that value. We never even used invulnerability. We probably could have just used default. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Hans with crit up can do the 5k with the defense down and the attack, double attack up. I think he got it. All right, let's find something in CCC that has divinity. And maybe use like a 70 DPS so we can kind of see what oomph we're getting. All right, what's here? Let's think. What do we got? There's Kiara. I think she has divinity. That's a thing, although it's not exactly the best for a burst unit like Martha here. We kind of just want to sandbag because we just look at numbers. Oh yeah, this account, I forgot. This account doesn't have as many stages as my main account does. So that we got Nero. We got the Shiki one. I think there's a Tam one. Yeah, isn't there a Tam one? Yeah, I think this is Tam. That's got divinity. Let's see. So she is caster, then lancer. The DPS we don't need to be anything too exceptional though, because again we want to see what Martha can offer in terms of oomph. I might actually try a setup where we cycle Martha, just because especially with her skills not being 10-10-10. She's like 5-5-10. Cycling her makes a lot of sense. Alright, what do we summon? Okay, this is just placeholder for now. What's a DPS that we can use here that won't... I don't want them to be bad, like I want the DPS to be good, but I don't want it to be like phenomenal. I wonder how she'd work with the Berserker. That might be too good for this fight, though. Let's see, so she's a Lancer. I might pick someone that's just neutral. I could do Protoku again because he's not actually phenomenal in this fight. Use Vlad. I think we could use our Vlad, actually. Oh man, he's not 10-10-10. Can I fix that? Hold on. That's unfortunate. Caesar would one-shot. Caesar would absolutely one-shot the Lancer Tam at the end. Hey, Lonely Boy. The 2 years casually, right on the button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Damn, we don't have, of course we don't have the hero proofs. Of course that would be the holdup. I gotta actually play my ult account, man. It's got some cool stuff. So we need something that's not a Saber and not a Rider and probably not a Berserker. Which we could do Ku or Proto-Ku again, but for variety I might change it. I have a lot of Sabers, dude. No Achilles. No Bedivere or Caesar. And you can't do Archer because Archer gets counterclass. That deletes most of my roster, man. We could do Martha though, because Martha Ruler doesn't do. Oh god, she does her anti-divinity thing though. But that's kind of funny. Do we do Martha? I feel like that's still too strong. We're trying to not have a niche. We're trying to be normal. Like that is double divinity bonus. Man, everything I feel like I don't have anything. They're either a Rider, an Archer, or a Saber. Or they're like I already used them. Like that's pretty much all that I have. Like David and Rob and Billy would all be usable, but they're archers, so they're too bad. And then Caesar and Bedivere are too good. I mean, there's Sheba, I guess. I don't think that'll go so good. I'd have to do the full Martha team on my main, because I don't think my ult account has Rider Martha. Although I guess I could summon it. But I'm gonna save that for something specific, and I'll have to like really figure that one out. I might just do Ku again, just because he doesn't have a niche this time. Yeah, there's Blood Axe, but he's counter-classing. Yeah, we'll do Proto-Ku. I think it's fine, because now that he doesn't get the anti-beast thing, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And half our command codes don't do anything anymore, so... what do we want to summon? I'll summon, fuck, it has to be something bursty. Let me think. I could just do Alex again. Yeah, I'm gonna do Alex again. That way I don't have to deal with reslotting stuff. And I'm using a quick unit, so it's okay. Alright, so we want to go pretty fast. So we could start with Leonidas, but he might be too tanky here. Because he's 100. I really want her passive. I think that's going to be so strong. Yeah, I'm actually starting to... for bursty stuff, I think she could be pretty fun. Like I don't know how useful she's going to be in the long run, but for bursty stuff, I think it's pretty legit. I could even see her being used with Mori. I can already see some ways to make that work. Because when she has her passive, she can turn... If you need to, you can turn one NP with Golden Carp of all things. Like that's quite nice. Let's see. As Lancer, she's single target. As Caster, she's no damage. I mean, I might be able to kill off Leonidas. Because if I do Hans, there's no guarantee that Hans would actually die first. I'm just worried Leonidas will actually live too long. I can always bring a Switch Mystic Code. Dude, so here's the thing. Get 2 Marthas, and then we'll Martha, and then switch Mystic Code Martha. Well, I'll test that once you can actually do that. You can't do it yet, but... Who do you bring in, though? I guess Hans is okay. Give Hans Star Bomb as well. Everybody's a Star Bomb. If I have another Golden Carp, I should use that. Hans actually wants starting NP. Although not as much here. We're trying to go really fast, even though we're at neutral. Too many CEs. I think I have double Golden Carp on NA, but not on my ult here. I just got the 1. This unit right here is very unlikely to do anything. DPS Mozart, let's go. Where is Art of Death? There we go. That's the stuff, chat. That's totally practical. Not memeing at all. Yeah, we'll do a full Martha setup for a video. That'll be a thing. Art up does not really help us here. I think I just do this right now. Already got guaranteed crits. Shame no one got a Buster card. Should have swapped those cards around because of the command codes. No! What are you doing? She just... What? If he attacked 1 time, I could have Leonidas NP'd, which makes a bunch of stars. What a fucking... okay. Let's see. I guess I don't do a lot this turn. I'll just buff. Damn it, game. That would have been such a good turn to Leo NP. Who says Happy Merry Christmas? Like, you just say Merry Christmas. Imagine if I had already NP'd on Leo and I could crit right now. Alright, even though we're testing Martha, it's just the right thing to do. English, yep. It is indeed that. Okay, there's my stars. Oh hey, I can get rid of that defense buff. How about that? What's the play here? I don't want to overcharge that much, so I can get the first card buster bonus like this. Yeah. Alright, this is basically Martha's turn, right? She helped us with the crits. She kind of set this turn up. Let's see what it does. 8 pure neutral. That's not bad. Wow. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, she offers you a hell of a lot of burst damage if they have Divinity. Tam, can you stop doing that? I'm trying to go fast, and you just keep doing that. I should have stunned her. Putting a real, damper on things here. Well, break anyway, at least. Martha with Lancelot, Saber Lancelot. I wonder if I can make that work, because he needs more Star Absorb, guys. You know, the 6,000 or whatever he's got is not enough. I actually kind of need Leonidas's NP. I actually think if you're fighting a boss with Divinity, that if you do Caster Martha, switch Mystic Code Caster Martha, and they both can turn 1 NP because of their passive and their battery, like, I think that's really good. Like, I think that's gonna be, that's a thing. For a 4-star support, like, yeah, it's not as good as Castoria and Scatty bullshit, but, that'll be pretty strong. And now I can't cast his thing because he's charmed. And I wanted his guts to go off. You know what? I'm gonna do this then. What are you gonna do about it? Double Martha and Enkidu against Divine. I bet you that actually could work against Fluffy to an extent. Like, there's some good stuff there. I'm pretty happy though with the amount of burst damage she offered there. That was pretty legit. Obviously the stage didn't go super smooth, but that wasn't really her fault. I still need more testing though. I really don't have a strong opinion about her yet. It's like, she's in that area where it's like, it's not obvious that she's gonna blow Hans and Qingonging them out of the water. But she's clearly not bad either, so I'm gonna have to use her a lot to get a good idea. I definitely think she's worth it, though, when you are fighting Divine. I think it's pretty easy to get value out of her there. I'll be ready to zeet the app. Don't want to lose the stage. She's making it really difficult to go fast, though, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Fluffy's Divine. Oh, thanks, Alex. Look at this value. Well, she got into Charm, but she's gonna stun herself anyway, so it doesn't matter. And you remove the buffs no matter what. Probably gonna kill right here, actually. Ready to zeet? Oh yeah, she's dead. By quite a lot. Alright. I see value in Martha, but I'm still pretty undecided, but she's definitely not bad, and it's like, if you like her, there's definitely fun to be had there. And even if she turns out to be a bit behind the other budget supports, which I'm not sure is going to be the case, but even if that is the case, she's going to be close enough that she's super usable. So she's not really ready yet, but I do kind of want to use her against the dragon, just cause. That's not even remotely fair, because she's 5'5", 10, not max level, and a variety of other problems. What we'll do is we'll use her, and then we'll use, oh, this is my main, excuse me. We'll use her again when she's actually prepared, and then we'll compare the difference. If we had story replay, I would use her against Fluffy pretty early. I would I'd make a setup. I think she could work for Fluffy, for real. The heal wouldn't do much, but everything else would be pretty handy. Like, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. And when I think about it that way, I think she is going to be good, because from time to time, we're going to have really hard bosses that you're going to need a lot of damage for, and she is kind of a budgety way to get damage against those that do have divinity and demon, undead, blah, 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 blah. Because I really do think she'd make Fluffy a lot easier. Like, punching through that final health bar, if she shows up and can just turn 1 NP and give you the anti-divinity, the attack up, the casted attack up, the defense down, you're probably going to get through that fucking health bar. That's a lot of damage up. And you don't need Super Scope for her to turn 1 NP. She can NP so easily, I think, on her own, once she's actually, 10-10-10. So, that's good. I think that's good. For fights that demand that kind of burst damage, because it happens sometimes. Yeah, because I suspect, I'm thinking through how, like, the Fluffy fight goes, and I really think if I had used her in that Fluffy fight, it would have been a hell of a lot easier. Like, I think she's crazy good there. Alright, let me give her foe items. You know, it doesn't stack. The bonus damage thing doesn't stack. Like, you get the bonus damage if they are divine, demon, or undead. And if they're all three, it doesn't matter. It's like, it activates or it doesn't activate. My ult actually does need a farm, though. It's kind of behind on Nano Prisms. I'm seeing. I've been playing this account pretty rarely, honestly, because I've been working on like the Sinnoh account or the 1 to 3 star account or whatever. Oh, I need to actually buy the attack bows. I did that backwards. I mean, there's no way to know if there will be hard bosses in 6.5 or not, but I suspect there will be. I don't see why there wouldn't be. Pretty sure this account actually has a bunch of faux items in its second storage, but
yeah.
Whatever. Oh wait, I can't slaughter. She's temporary. So we can't use her against Richard. I'd have to level her on my main, which I haven't done yet because I don't want to use apples over there. Well, crap. Okay, time to just be the worst person. Although if you're an Edmund fan, I don't think you'll mind here. We are sending her to her death right now. There is no world where she lives long enough to even cast her heal. Edmund just does so much normal card damage. At level 70 though, she's got 12k. You know, that's a thing. I kind of need to give her. Okay, this is if she was actually gonna solo this is not what you would use. But because she's level 70. Oh, that's the support one, excuse me. I don't have to use that. We'll just see how long she can last. Yeah, New would root for Edmund. That's fair. Edmund is a pretty cool guy. I wish we had story replay, man. I would love to make a fluffy video. Let's see how she does there. That's a really practical way to use her. Fire the popcorn. I guess NP gain. Edmund versus Achilles would be so cool if it was in like a good anime and they were actually representing their abilities properly. I don't really want to use... I want to use my maximum health up because I'm about to get blasted, but it's not actually a good turn for the battery. So I'll wait one... Just don't kill me this turn, Edmund, and we might actually be able to make something happen here. Edmund, why can't you be divine? Don't buster crit me now. Look at him quick charging when he's NP sealed. Okay, we're guaranteed to crit next turn. I actually want to do this again when she's maxed. I think we might actually have a decent performance. We'll see. Like, she'll crit a lot. Probably give her the heal boost command code. She's got enough healing that I think that would be worth. Uh-oh. No, no, no. Cease? Not sure this is gonna be enough healing to keep us alive. And we didn't loop. I should have done my art cards, because I absolutely should have done my art cards, because we made too many stars. So I could have made less stars and then just got my NP and then healed again, and then gotten the attack up again. That is what you call being bad. Also, just being completely unfamiliar with the unit's gain rates. I mean, first time using here. But sad is that extra health might have been enough to make us live here. Watch him quick charge, and then it doesn't even matter. Edmund, stop. No! Oh, he just overkilled us by so much. God damn. I wanted to get a double NP up and then use the Mystic Code attack up, and then see how much damage we could get. Sorry, Santa, yeah. Okay, let me do that, I'll wait. We'll do that when she's more upgraded. Alright, I think we'll wrap up here, chat. I apologize, it's kind of a shorter stream, but, you know, I'm dropping frames and whatnot, so it's kind of crappy, but... we'll test her more. There's a lot to be tested, but I need to actually get her upgraded and stuff, so it's gonna take a little while. Sadly, this event, though, kinda sucks, so I don't know, we might play some NA. I don't know what we'll do tomorrow. We'll probably play the event and, like, I'll show off the story every day and whatnot, but, I don't know if we'll play JP a lot, during this event, like, on stream, just because it's pretty dull. But thank you guys for hanging out, and, why does Martha what is this hat? I didn't look at it until now. That is not a Christmas hat. That is like a knockoff Christmas hat. What are we doing here? Why is there two, like, tails, but it's not even, none of them are even tails. It's just like a, it's like a croissant. I got that right as I said that. DJ says it's a croissant. Like, what is going on here? Is she trying to, like, is she trying to bait Canis in? Because, like, Canis was running away from her at the start of the event. Is that what we're doing here? Oh my god. Anyways, let's find somebody to raid. I got Cad Raw, Shaquado. Oh. It's Phantom time, boys. Phantom versus Lost Belt 5. See, we were talking about how easy Lost Belt 5 was the other day, but that's one way to spice it up. Alright, lads, take care.